Peace, peace.
Yo, I just hit the notification at the top of the screen. I didn't mean to hop in so
Nah,
fast.
you good? We finna get started. I got my brother Blue pulling up in a second too. We
Okay,
about to get
okay. I guess
started.
I'll politic for a second. I'm about to run to the store though, real quick.
That's love.
All right, much love.
So yeah, what it's gonna be? I got this. I got another book. It's called "You Are Light, All Right," and brother Blue should be pushing up. Let me go ahead and get this link to him. Blue pill, so we can get this thing popping. If you would share the room, ping people into the room. I know I haven't done a room in a while. Let me get this link to brother Blue, and we finna get this thing popping. Peace, what's going on, Alexa? Peace, peace.
Peace to the gods.
Yeah, we finna get it popping.
Yeah.
I was talking to Blue about doing this room for a little while. There's gonna be a lot of things. I got a few different topics we're gonna be touching on. Of course, we got the book. That's the big thing. It's one of those things where I want to finally bridge the gap between what's being said to be this exoteric and this esoteric. So I put a lot of that into the book. This is one side of it. I feel that I'm going to need to follow it up too with the "You Are the Darkness" too, or "You Are Darkness," because I don't think light is enough to really get the point through. But with this one, with this book, I'll be able to explain it as I did. I broke all these things down from the concepts of light to where we get that concept from, questions that were asked and answered, like can God lie? You know what I'm saying? Which is important because it starts to break spells that are coming in on the spiritual side that are just making people be disconnected from this aspect of ourselves or disconnected from the reality that it isn't just within ourselves. There are also other entities and other beings that function completely on their own without the aid and assist of our consciousness. So that's something important too. So I'm not sure how this goes, but this gonna be. Let me see. I guess okay. So ping y'all people into the room. I sent it to Brother Blue. That should get more people to come in. Try to
Hey,
see what's going on.
I gotta give you your praise, Faze, because you are one of the realest ones standing effortlessly and fearlessly, and that is so beautiful. And me being a musician as well, it's really amazing to see that you are willing to speak on things that a lot of us have we shun away from it because it's we've been to rely on a certain. And
I
no,
appreciate that.
absolutely. And also, ironically enough, you would say this because I was just on the phone with one of my good peoples, and we were talking about how, I said, you know what? We are a walking contradiction. We are the epitome of duality, and it takes one, for the other, the yin and the yang. And I was saying to them, it wouldn't make sense for it to have one side, because that would defeat the purpose of the learning process for us as spiritual beings on this planet. But yes, so much love to you.
Big love to you as well. That's the thing about it. I'm working on getting us to that point. It's a lot of some things happened along the way that stopped us from all the way getting there, but I'm working on getting us to that point because once you get there, then it becomes the balance. Like that's why I really can't wait to get into the build because that question of can God lie? Like that's a real heavy question. That's a question that most people wouldn't even dare to ask because of the nuances or the things that have been placed on them as far as you can't question and all these other things which aren't even scriptural. Like you can question, you can ask. You're supposed to ask. But the question of can God lie will help people understand what we're speaking about when we're talking about God. And once we get into it, you'll see what I mean. Because it's like the balance between light and dark, that's always been there. That's always been magnetism. One pole pushes, one pole pulls. It's not That's not something that was religiously created. That's just what it always scientifically was. Then you had different establishments of people, different nations of people, different races of people, or genomes of people who came through and said, "Aha, I figured this out." But they only uncovered it. It wasn't any discovery going on in that regard. They only uncovered it for themselves and revealed it to themselves what that would mean. Then you had the allegories that came where, okay, like even when you're dealing with magic, the left hand magic, the right hand magic. The right hand magic is supposed to be pushing and repelling or sending out energies. The left hand magic is supposed to be pulling in or extracting energies. This was the allegorical side that has evolved now that says negative or positive, meaning bad or good. But we were speaking in terms of how the elements work, how the atoms work, how the protons, electrons, and neutrons work in this realm. And when you have an understanding of that energy or that inner chi, then you put yourself in that balanced position, which is that line in the center of the yin and yang or the yin and yang. That line is supposed to be self. That S is you. You're the one who controls the ins and the outs of this energy that we're speaking about. You understand? So that's what we got to get to, because it'll solve everything. Then you won't have to rely on just trying to figure out what this means. No, you won't have to rely on that. Then it becomes clear to you that you are in the center of all things, always. And I break that down in the book also, that you're in the center of all things, always. And when I say always, I'm speaking about all directions, because you can only be in the center to observe those all directions the same way, which will be in your own bubble or in your own verse, your own universe. To be able to look out in any direction and observe means that you're in the center. When you're off balance, then it becomes, one-sided, or, you're leaning over to this direction, leaning over, or teetering, as Thanos represented in that movie where he said things become off balance when he was trying to show the little girl. When things become off balance, then you have to balance them again. You understand? So that's where we at with it. I tell people, you are the light. And I want to make sure that that's very clear. That I don't want people to think that I'm only trying to say, when I speak about extraterrestrials or God and things like that, that is outside of them. No, the principle of it being within you is something that's understood worldwide. This also is of within you because you are of it. You are a part of it and you are within it. But then there's this other side, this without side, that is still connected to you, yet you've been severed from it, or we've been severed from it, because one of these sides of the paradigms, of these two paradigms, have pulled you either or. So you're either on the complete fixed paradigm of God is only outside of you, when you're talking about extraterrestrials or angels and all of these other things that you pray upward to, or give homage to, or reach out to, or reach out for. Or you're snatched to the other side, which says that God is only within you and that there is nothing outside of you. And it needs to be a balance of both for you to really understand what's happening in the earth realm, because it's not just one side. You understand? Is really both sided. So I'm waiting to see. I'm trying to get the brother Blue in here. What's going on, y'all? Yeah, I'm trying to get the brother Blue in here to see.
Are you gonna record this phase? Save it.
How do you do it? Do I just leave the replays on?
I'm not quite sure, to be honest. I do see where it says replays on, but that probably replays on. This room is being recorded so that people can listen and share the room. So it seems like you got it on already.
Okay, cool. So I'll just leave it on. I won't touch that.
Okay, appreciate it. I've got to go, but I really, really, really want to hear this. I hope everybody taps in. I hope Blue taps in for sure, because that's going to be a great conversation.
Yeah, facts. I appreciate you too for coming through.
Of course. Peace, family. Take care.
Peace, peace. They talking about, okay, so then I guess one person can't ping that many people. They talking about our systems had detected a high usage of this from your account. So y'all, will y'all please ping y'all people in here so we start making this move? But either way, I'm about to get started to make the bill go ahead. If you want to, before we get into it, if you want to take a second to tap that link above, which is the Cash App, and donate to receive this book. The book is You Are the Light, all right? Then you can go ahead and do that now. And I'll be breaking down what we're speaking about in the book also as we go through. So you can still get some of the nuts and bolts of what it's about. But if you want to go ahead and donate, then make a donation of any kind or any amount, and you send your email with it, and I'll send this book. It's brand new, it's fresh, it's got a lot of new information and new concepts in it. And it's just one of those things where I do see that I'm gonna have to continue it. I'm gonna have to make the you are the darkness too, because I don't think that it'll only be the light that can be broken down to get the full point across. So if you would take a second, ping your people in, and I'm about to get into it. But first, before we start, I wanted to look into some of the lyrics of India Arie's song real quick. She has a song called "I Am Light." I just want to look at some of the points that she brings out when she's aligning herself with that energy that says that she is the light, she is the center, she is the sun or the solar, because that's what you mean when you're saying light. When you're talking about reaching out to the heavens as the pyramids do, you're literally saying Pyrrha in the middle, the fire inside of you, which is a central fire, or the solar fire, the solar system that you have in the center of you. And she's saying that she is that light because you are. They even speak about it biblically when they say that the in the beginning the word, in the beginning was the word, and the word was God, the word was with God, all these other things. But they speak about it in the 1:9, John 1:9, where they talk about the light being inside of every man, right? And that the light was in this darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. Now that's very deep when you think about what I just said, because that light is your soul or the ruah, and we'll get into that too. That light is your soul essence. The reason why if you breathe onto your hand, you're gonna feel this flame, right? And then if somebody passes away, that fire goes away also. And you ever heard what Nas said in his lyrics? I held real dead bodies in my arm before their bodies turned cold. He's speaking about that spirit, that fire that's inside of you leaving that body. And we all have heard about it where someone says when someone passes away, then their body goes cold. You understand? So India Ari comes in and she says, I am light. I am light. She says, I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of this brokenness inside. So she's speaking about the illusion. She's speaking about the illusion that's set up around what we think this world is about, what we think our life is about, what we think we're being judged on. No, you are the light. All of the things that are coming from you, whether your light has been dimmed, whether your light has been brightened, whether you're enlightened, or whether you've been oppressed or suppressed or compressed into a smaller light or lesser light, you are still the light. That's why you're here, because you're a light. And that light is expressing itself. Now, when we're dealing with light scientifically, we're talking about electromagnetism and photons. We're speaking about the expression of magnetism in the realm that allows for you to observe the realm, that allows for you to have the experience as a conscious living being at this point. Because that's what this light is. It's also consciousness. Because that consciousness is composed of the energy that we speak of, you yourself must also be that consciousness. So India Ari is saying that. She says, I'm not the mistakes that I have made or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dream I left behind. And she said, I am light. She said, I'm not the color of my eyes. I'm not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. She says, I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. She says, I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star. When you say a star, you're speaking about Tara, which is star within itself, right? Which means you are a sun. Okay? When we say you're a son, what we meant when we tell you that is literally, look, you are a conscious entity. That is not to be taken for granted. Okay, you expressing yourself as a conscious entity that has the ability to make will or to brighten your light or to dim it is not to be taken for granted. You can yield more life. You have children. Your children are baby sons, little bitty stars coming out of you that grow up into the bigger stars that can also yield more children or more stars. This offspring ability is showing you scientifically what even happens with the sun and the planets, or what happens with stars and more stars, or what happens with galaxies and more stars and more realities. You are a reflection of that scientifically. So when she says, I am a star, she's telling you that that's literally what she is, and you are too. And the reason why she puts it in this, she doesn't just say you are, she's putting you in the shoe or the position to say I am, which is affirmation. And we must point out that India Ari is a soul student of Malachi York. And this was one of the principles that we were bringing through, that in this day and time, which is called the sun cycle, right? There was going to be a light that was going to be spewing up and vibrating faster within certain people, what you call the elect. which we say elect, we're talking about electricity. And with that elect, or with those elect people, they were going to be affecting other people, right? Which is why I explained to you that you are the virus or the revived version of us. And when you affect other people, they say infect, but you're affecting cause and effect, because that light coming from you is the sunlight, okay? That is the chaotic light, which you say cause, you're saying chaos, and it reaches out and it touches other beings. That's why they tell you, be the light for the people around you. Be the light for your family. Be the light for the people who've been left behind. Be the light for the people who are experiencing darkness. They're speaking about a transfer of energy, because we know that these things are only transferred or transformed. A transfer of energy that literally, when you do this, it piques the interest of other people and raises their consciousness too. All right? Unless you were one who chose to compress or oppress, and it doesn't mean it's negative or positive as in bad or good. It just means that that potency of the light that you had at that moment goes down, right? Which means it loses power. The same way if you dim a light on a switch, or if you turn the light down on a dial, it would lose power, but you are still that light. You understand that? So this book that I have, You Are Light, all right? I put that all right there not just to rhyme, okay? That all right is because that is exactly what light is. Light is all right. Even because if you look at it, it's like this: you have the true light and the false light, but it is all right because it exists in a foundational sense. When you're saying right, you're talking about an angle, which is the 90 degrees. And that's how this round functions. And as you were turning that 90 degree, if you would have turned it another 90 degrees, you got 180. 1 plus 8 equals 9. And then you turn it again, 270. 2 plus 7 is 9. 3 plus 6 equals 9. All the way up to 720 or 1440, which is 144, right? When we're speaking about the cycles, because that's where we at, the sun cycle. When you rise up to that ninth cycle, you still realize that it is all right, even when it might be interpreted to be wrong, because it exists on the foundation that is perfect or divine. It is all right. It's all right. Now, when we say, yo, let's say, yo, I didn't study for my test and I need to go take this test in the next 4 hours. It's still all right. Why is it all right? Because there's nothing wrong about that. I just, as a living being with my own conscience and will, chose not to study. But that didn't mean that the test was wrong for failing me or showing that I did not study. That just meant that I chose that walk. So it is all right. It lays on a foundation that is perfect, this realm, right? When we interpret that perfection and we start seeing it for the light that it is, and we walk in whatever direction we want to walk in, then we start just acknowledging that we are acting out this reality in the form of conscious expression. We're acting this reality out. So what conditions do we want? Are we moving toward favorable conditions, or are we moving toward unfavorable conditions? Individually, that's an easy question to answer. If you just individually want to have more favorable outcomes, that's an easy question to answer. You just move in whatever direction you would need to move in to look out for self. When you're thinking of a collective, which you do need more numbers to get more to get the grander things done at times. That's why I tell you it's power in numbers. When you're thinking on a collective, it might get a little more complex as far as what that answer is. Now, if I'm 23 years old, I'm brand new to the world, right? Now, I might be the newest in this room to this world. What we see when we come through here is these are the conditions that we have to work with. So if you're born into a Spanish household, chances are you're going to grow up and you're going to speak that tongue. And if you wanted to integrate or go into another system to become great there, then you might need to learn the English language. Okay, so if I were to move all the way over to Paris or to France, I would need to learn the language they're speaking over there, French. You understand? Why am I saying this? Because all of this is conditional. It's conditional. We speak and express this way because we were brought into this realm around conditions that taught us, hey, this is how we as energetic compositions express. Then when you start broadening your what they call what? Horizon, your horizon, your haru, I, sun, your light. When you stretch your light further, then you start taking in more experiences, right? When we say experience or expire, we're still talking about expel or to release or to push out. This is the push and the pull of reality. As you take in or intake this reality, you're also pushing out. So at 23 years old, as you're hearing me speak, all you're hearing is someone who's expressing what he's seen and has figured out in this realm, and you're taking it in, you're searching it now. What you can do is you can also go back and search it again. You call it research. I let people know it's ray search or ra. Anytime you got that ray there, that re there in front of a word, pay close attention to it, because that means something to dealing with light. If I tell you I respect you, that means I spect you once, and then I come back again and I spect again. If I spect you one time, what am I doing? Spect. I'm speculating. I'm looking, the spectacle. I'm looking at you once. I'm taking in your light one time. But most people think that that's all it takes is for you to take in something one time. Yet there's so much more information that you can gather, which means bring together, right? You can gather so much more information when you respect someone. Like, I respect your position. The issue is a lot of people, because it's more comfortable in the ego, as you might speak on it, just to say it as an example, or because it's more comfortable to not have to expand for a lot of people, they don't respect other people. They don't respect them. Meaning, if this is a person who says they're a Christian, the person over here won't respect them. Or I've seen it where Christians do it. If you don't believe in what they believe in, they think that they don't have to respect you. Now, this doesn't necessarily have to affect you, because again, you have the choice in whichever walk you want to take. If you're not here to tablet people or here to try to bring everybody together, that doesn't have to be your walk, right? You're responsible for that which you know. You're responsible for that which you yield, yes. But it doesn't mean that because you're encountering someone who does not want to look at what you're saying again or look at who you are, the light that is expressing that information again, right? Which means that they choose to go against respecting you, which means disrespect, or to go against the ray in you that they can see, the light in you that they can see, and they say, I disrespect this person's views, which means their ability to see, right? Or I disrespect this person's experience, which means their ability to expire or to reach out or expel and to take in. That means that you have that choice at that moment to let that person go. Okay? There's 9 point something billion people on the planet Earth. You can let that person go. Now, it might be hard for even, the wisest amongst us or the masters amongst us, because if you have these types of missions that you proclaim for self or you've been assigned to, you do want to make sure that they know these sciences. Yet, in due time, that energy is going to return to the light. If you don't look at it as just this person as a person that you're seeing, the flesh that you're seeing, the person in front of you, this being that you're looking at, that's expressing itself as an energetic composition, if you look at it as more than just that and see that it is energy, that person is energy, and that energy exists in a realm that is light, and the light is all right, then you will be able to see, okay, it's not what? Maybe time for that person to see that specific thing. If that person ever sees it, it may re-enter or reincarnate as another form of energy miles down the line, or millennium is what I mean, because we say time, we thinking present, past, future, but when we speaking on time, we're speaking of where you are in location. So millennial or miles down the line or years or ages down the line, that energy itself may have also rebalanced itself back to what you call light, which is all right, or the balanced light, which is all right. Okay, so I know that was a lot to say, but I do know you can follow me or walk with me when I speak that way. I'm not confused. I've been in a lot of rooms where people say, yo, you talk for a long time and this, that, and I'm not confused. People can walk when it's resonating, right? People can walk with you when it resonates. It's not something that people are not capable of doing. The issue is a lot of times people are pushing their opinion and presenting it as fact instead of coming with an offer that people can explore. When you push your opinion as fact and tell people that they just have to receive it, or something is off with them or something is wrong with them and they don't want to, then what tends to happen is, this is the word that I don't like to even use. You get pushback. I want to push back on that. I don't want anybody to push back. If you feel like you need to push, then you're standing on the opposing side of me. If you don't want to walk with me, then just keep walking. You don't need to push me because I'm walking in this direction. It's plenty space. Just move over. Go that way or thither or hither. Just move completely over. All of this pushback and I disagree. Okay, you don't have to announce that you disagree. You don't even have to announce that you agree. Okay? Because let's look at it like this, and I'm gonna bring you back to the center and reset. When we're building something, right? If it takes screws, nails, right? It takes these tools like the screwdrivers and the hammers. If that's what it takes to build that building, then guess what? It does not matter if you say hay or if you say sticks or if you say bricks, whatever you want to say. If you agree with the fact that, oh yeah, I agree that it takes that, that also doesn't matter because what is the truth? The truth is you will not be able to build the building that is on this blueprint in front of you unless you follow this blueprint step for step. You miss a step because you agree with this step, but you disagree with that step, and see what happens to your building. Nobody cares. I don't care for people to, I agree with what you said. I don't care for that. And I don't care for people to disagree with me. That's a lot. Imagine how much time people have wasted on disagreements on Clubhouse. Imagine how much time people have wasted on disagreements versus agreements in life. Centuries, decades, people who stepped into position like leaders didn't agree with this other leader, so this fell apart and that fell apart. It had nothing to do with what you felt about it. Did you do the science and apply it scientifically? And that's why we say go the scientific route. Return, alchemists, meaning all you chemists. When we say chemist, we're not just talking about the land chemist, right? Or chemit. We're talking about what? You scientists. When you're dealing with chemistry, they don't just say, yeah, man, just throw that in the bottle, put that in the beaker, and we'll see what happens. No, they measure. That's what the beaker is for. They do the mathematics on it. When they need to spend this time, they're going to spend that time on that. When they need to add this, they're going to add that in. But they're measuring all of these things. They're writing all of these things down. And if something goes wrong, they can know where it went wrong. And what would the wrong mean there? Meaning it led to an unfavorable outcome. They might have favored this outcome and say, we want to see if we can get this gas to go into a gooey-like solid or gooey-like liquid in a matter of 5 minutes. But then when they start mixing these components together, what winds up happening is the shit explodes. That wasn't favorable for them. It blows up. It went wrong as far as the conditions that they sought out to establish for themselves. So if we saying we want to establish unity, and we saying we want to make sure everybody can get along, but then you go into these rooms and people do not have that intention set from the jump to make sure that that happens, even if you agree or disagree. Can you look at what needs to be applied so that the building can be built? Right? Can you do that? If you don't set that intention from the jump, then the clashes happen. Then people are tugging and pulling and pushing back, and I don't want to. No, the light is all right. So what's happening here? There's nothing wrong with the light because you are light. So what's happening here when we're looking at all of these things? You can bring all of these people together and explain. That's what I always do. I bring it right to the common ground where it's like there is literally no reason to fight anymore when we get to that point, and then they run back into the fights. Or we might have seen that we solved this issue, and then a year plus later, people are still talking about the same things. They're still arguing over the same things. This is showing you what needs to happen may be uncomfortable for a lot of people because people choose comfort first. Always remember that. People choose comfort first. That's in relationships. That's in public relations. That's in dealing with, musicians and artists. That's when telling people that this needs to be cleaned up and your children don't want to listen. People will choose comfort first. So what do? We switch the energy. We have to show people the incentive of that strain. Or we break it down step by step. You ever heard people explain to you, if you want your children to clean the room, instead of just saying, go clean the room, tell them, go pick up the toys. They go pick up the toys. All right, now go pick up the clothes. They go pick up the clothes. Okay, after you picked up the clothes, then make your bed. They go make the bed. Right? Okay, so now give them some fruit snacks. All right, they had a snack. Okay, now go sweep the floor. They sweep the floor. Sometimes we have to do that coming through this realm. And that's what the masters have done. They took the time to go and tell you, yo, pick up your toys. Yo, this is what Islam is all about. Okay? Pick up your clothes. Yo, this is what Christianity is all about. Okay, now go make your bed. Yo, this is what the comedic sciences are all about. All right, then you look at it and you say the room is clean. But if we come back and it's like, we just gave you fruit snacks, we just watched you sweep the floor, literally, we just seen you do it, and then we come back and y'all in here arguing and fighting and pushing over, and you done knocked the whole room back over. It's like, we still need this room to be clean. The realm still needs to be balanced again. If you would just look at it as this is what needs to be done, even with those little steps, then watch how far we go. And it's not near over. If you can hear me speaking like this at age 23, then you can hear someone speaking like this at age 7. You can hear someone speaking like this at age 5. How much time are you willing to put in to this new generation that's coming in? Are you going to show them that they are to the light and that the light is all right? So I'll do a reset real quick. You are light. All right. That's the name of this book. Right. I literally just put it into the PDF format. It'll be able to be sent out within the first day. I want to also, if you're in this room, if you sent a donation for the master pack book and you weren't able to receive the master pack book, because I see that we ran into a problem with that, because that book was like 18 books in one, and I didn't know how to send out, you know what I'm saying, the file, and I tried to do it through linking the notes in, but the issue with that was people weren't able to do that if they didn't have an iCloud. Then just send me your email, send me the screenshot of your donation, send me the email, and I'm gonna send you this book, and I'm gonna send you my other 4 books that isn't the master pack. That's the How to Fight COVID and Win, the Why book, the Who Knows the Secrets books, and Did Jesus Really Die for Your Sins book. So just show me that. That's if you're in the room. I still got to make that announcement on Instagram so people can know that wasn't no funny business. It's just, I saw that was a complaint for a lot of people. So we're gonna get that right. But yeah, so that's the book. You Are Light. All right. If you want to go ahead, click the Cash App. This doesn't require for any specific number of donations. So literally, if you want to send $1, I'm cool with it, because we taking this step by step. It ain't no rush. You know what I'm saying? I'm dropping a book every 2 weeks, every week if I can. You know what I'm saying? To put out the information. Keep the donations coming in, keep the people informed. We exchanging and we continuing to grow. Right now, as far as the Honey Bun Run, which means we're raising $100,000. We call it a Honey Bun in Atlanta. We at $2,500. So I was laughing last night or last shadow hour, just like, man, this is crazy. Like, y'all look at it. That may be, I don't know, it might be a lot to some of y'all, might not be a lot to some of y'all. I'm looking at it, it's amazing. It's amazing that when I said, y'all, let's start raising these funds, let's start putting these funds up. I know we've already did this, I learned this, learned that. Y'all were coming through, and we're at 2,500, and those funds aren't being touched. Those funds aren't being touched. Even with my phone bill, the shit is off. But I'm on Wi-Fi. It get that deep, because by the summertime, I wanted to be on such a level that, and y'all might see me doing like the little skits and stuff on Instagram now. I want it to be on such a level that I can make the connections, and really, just to be honest with you, a lot of these people who are in position to aid and assist, they won't aid and assist me because they speak the same money language that they're trying to tell you the world speak. You know what I'm saying? Like they're not coming on the love that people they try to say they're coming on. No, but if you bring them money, they just like they jump and they like, oh, let's do this. I'm rocking with you. So you know what I'm saying? It's so crazy that it works like that, but that's how it is. So it's a lot of things that we will be able to do. 2,500 is a major start. Last year we started in April, so we already got a head start. So that's the reset. If you want the book, send a donation of however much. That's fine. It's whatever you want to send, and send your email with it, right? Because it's gonna give you how it says for. You can put your email there, and then I'll send out these copies. You know what I'm saying, throughout right now and throughout the day, to make sure that they get to y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going to also put it on Instagram too. So if you need a little more time, I'll be putting it on there so that you can see. So that's what it is. You are light. All right. And let's see. I might be able to go into, and I'm going to also put, the hand raising is on too if y'all want to come up and ask questions. But I might be able to go into one of these chapters and explain, because I got the chapter that says, this is the introduction. We got the starts with a bang. The devil is afraid of the power of unity. I am that I am, Yanun, as spoken by Dr. Malachi Z. York. God is talking to you. Let's see. These are some of the chapters. The laws of the heavens and the earth. Let's see what else. Can God lie? Like that's That's got to be my favorite chapter. Can God lie? Let's see what else we got. I know we got one on Tahuti. Yeah, so Tahuti is in there too. So we breaking down Tahuti because it's important to break down Tahuti because a lot of people need to know who that is. You need to know who started all of these sciences, and that goes into the God that's talking to you. Once you realize who started all these sciences, I'm telling y'all. Matter of fact, let's get into that a little bit without spoiling too much because I know y'all want to read it. You know what I'm saying? But let's get into it a little bit when the God is talking to you. So it starts off by speaking about the Meduneter. A lot of people are speaking about the Meduneter right now. It's a fairly new book, right? But it's not a new overstanding because when you spoke about the Meduneter, you saying the God speech or the divine speech. The Medu is the Makdu, which is the speech. Then you have the Neter or the Netar. The Natar is the divine or God. That's the word for God in ancient Egypt. Okay, so I break it down that when you're saying the speech of the divine, you're actually saying it backwards if you're looking at it as two words or concepts. Because that Nater word, right, the Nater or the Nejer word is the ancient Egyptian tone for God or the divine, which was not a ghostly being. I break that down. I said this was the common word used for the Kemetic inhabitants at that time to describe rulers, gods and gods, extraterrestrials, and so-called spirits of every kind, and beings of all sorts and kinds and forms, the same way you do now. Like when you say God in the Bible, you think you're talking about one person, but it never was that way. It never was. It's not even written that way. They'll say God. They'll say the Lord God. They'll say the Lord. It was a part in the scriptures where Abraham was shown God, like God appeared to Abraham, and it was three people. They said, and then the Lord appeared to Abraham, and he looked outside his tent, and there's three men standing out there. And what did they do? They sat down and they ate. So first, we're not dealing with no omnipresent being, this God or this Lord that's being represented as someone might read to you as you're talking about some type of esoteric, spiritual, omnipresent being that exists everywhere, always. No, he was standing right there and he was with company, but they described it as the Lord. And these were the Lords. And Abraham came out and worshiped or respected all of them. He fell down to their feet and was like, yo, let me get y'all boys something to eat. And they said, okay, go do that. They even like they're quick and swift with their tongue, according to how the story was playing out. Because he was saying, yo, where your wife Sarah at? One of them said, yo, where's your wife? And he was like, my wife is in the tent, Sarah. And they were both old, right? So Sarah was supposedly not supposed to have any children. But one of these lords or angels or extraterrestrials said, yo, I'm gonna come back here a year from now and she gonna have her baby. Now, whatever that means, you can take it and run with it. But I'm telling you, that's what they said. And Sarah laughed. She bust out laughing in the tent and was like, I don't know why he would say some shit like that. I'm old as hell. I can't have no babies. And he overheard her laugh. This is happening. This ain't God talking in somebody's mind. This is happening in real time, whoever they saying God is. And it's three of them, right? And he said, yo, what the hell was so funny? Why he said, what the hell she was laughing about? And he was like, and she said, I didn't laugh. And he spoke right back to her swiftly. He was like, yes, the hell you did. You did laugh. And they ended this. They ended it right there. And then he even walked ahead with the three lords or gods. And one of them spoke up and said, yo, should I let this nigga see what I'm finna do? Right? And the two of them went ahead to Sodom and Gomorrah. I'm explaining to y'all that this man is doing actions like sitting down, talking, having a conversation with not just Abraham, with Sarah too, walking, eating, like asking questions. The whole conversation of can we spare them if we find a certain amount of people that's good. Like this is not some omnipresent person. It's very important to catch that. It's very important that you know that. That's for spiritual people. That's for Christian people. That's for atheist people. Because I don't care what these pastors or preachers or nobody said to you. These are not spirits. These are people. They're extraterrestrial people, which means they come from different realms or they come from different frequencies, right? And some of them have to shift their frequencies to come into these realms or alter their consciousness and send their consciousness into different bodies to enter into these realms to navigate within the earth realm the same way you would as modern day scientists or astronauts or astronomers. You would put on the what you call the shit, the astronomer thing, the spacesuit. What do they call that shit? Ain't it a certain name for it? The spacesuit. I know it's a name for it other than the astronaut suit, whatever. But you would put that on, So you would do that. Well, you're not that advanced. Instead of them having to put on spacesuits, they can literally inject their consciousness into a sperm cell. I know that might sound crazy, but that's where you start talking about reincarnation, bringing the light back into the car, which is the flesh. It's simply science. One day they're going to tell you it's possible, if they haven't already hinted at it already. But one day they're going to tell you that it's possible to take somebody's consciousness and bring them back into the realm in the womb. Right? So when we saying the Holy Spirit will come onto you, who was this Holy Spirit? This ain't something that's ghostly floating around. We're talking about Gabriel. We're talking about a person. Now, how can you find that? The evidence in the text that you're saying people when you're saying spirits too is that they said that you were supposed to test every spirit. That was the first of John 4:3. It said, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits whether they are of God. What does this mean? Because people just say that, right? And notice, I'm not no Christian, but I can tell you that this is our story. This is our shit. That's why I know what it means. Because I'm experiencing what I told people back to me. This is our stuff. When we said test every spirit or believe not every spirit, we were talking about prophets. Okay? Now, if you go and read 1 John 4:3, you will say, beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirits, whether they are of God. If you are of something, that means that's what you're coming in the name of. That's the works that you're going to put out. You are fighting for that cause when you say of this. So test the spirits, whether they are of God, because many, what? False prophets are going out into the world. Now, if they said test every spirit, and then they said many false prophets, what are they saying the spirits are? The spirits are the prophets. Now you're going to have some spirits who come in and they manipulate that light. When they manipulate their light, what are they saying? That they're coming in and they know the truth. They become what you call in Islam the kafirs or the kafirun. But you get kafir, they covet. They hide the truth. They know it. They know scripture, but they come in to deceive people, even though they know the scripture. Or the kafirun, who are the ones who would side with the kafirs, right? Why? Because they were disbelievers to begin with. They didn't want to believe. And when we say believe in the Islamic sense, we're not necessarily speaking about it how the Christians say it. Because believe in the Christian sense would mean that you just accept what the hell they telling you to be true. Right? Not even biblical, I'm saying Christian sense. But when you're speaking in the Islamic sense, you're saying you receive. Okay? When you're saying believe there, you're saying mu'minun. All right? Or mu'minin. You receive. You are receiving the word of Allah or the word of God. And you accept that is the God or the deity that has the sacreds or the secrets unknown only. Only this Allah would have the secrets and the sacreds unknown, because that would be the reason why it would be worthy of praise, because you don't know all things. Anything that could express itself or express as knowing all things is worthy of praise. Because then once you can praise this thing that knows all things and you have humility toward that which you don't know, then more things can be revealed onto you. So you're not a Muslim yet, meaning you're not in the peaceful abode of Darul Islam. You're not there yet, but as a mu'minun, you're accepting or receiving that you can get there. That is something that can be obtained. You understand? So these prophets are not just coming, as you might say, the prophets, how they say, oh, they're coming out and saying they're Jesus. No, these prophets are all of these people who are coming with messages and trying to tell you that they are for their people. All right, or trying to tell you that they are serving God. They say test those spirits. How do you test? That's when you get into it. How can you test those spirits? Or let's better yet, why would you test those spirits? Let me get into why. It even tells you that in 1 John 4:3. It says, in every spirit that confesseth not that Jesus Christ is come in the flesh is not of God. Pay attention to that. So every spirit. Okay, we're talking about prophets. We're talking about people who stand up and say that they know what they're talking about. This is something as simple as English. Don't tell me nothing about historicity if you can't even get the simplest form of English down pat. We ain't even got into the Hebrew concordance, the Strong's concordance, or the dialects that came before that. We ain't went back Akkadian. We haven't gone back into the ancient Kemetic language of what you were actually speaking about yet. This is something as simple as saying Jesus Christ. It don't matter about no translation or none of that. Do you see the simplicity in what they're explaining with this? That if this prophet or spirit came through and did not confess or acknowledge or make active the knowledge that Jesus Christ, according to how the scriptures is saying, even if you don't believe in him, came in the flesh, then they're not of God. So what is all this Jesus is a spirit shit coming from? I'll tell you what. It goes on to tell you. And this is that spirit of antichrist. You would be antichrist if you didn't understand that who you were talking about was a living flesh being, not some spirit that helps you pay your rent. This is a living person, which would explain why people were to approach him according to how it's written and say, did it not work this wonder in your name? Did it not heal people in your name? Did it not come in the name of Jesus and do all these things? And he was going to say, what? I don't know you. Depart from me. I don't know you. Now, let me ask you a question. When people say that Jesus is God, pay attention to these things, which he said many times that he wasn't. He even separated himself from God. We say, yo, why are you calling me good? I'm not good. There's only one person that's good. There's only one person that's all right, and that is God. Okay? The light. There's only one person or one being that you can say is good, and that is God. Only him. He separated himself from that. Okay? So when these people are saying that this is a spirit, pay attention to the fact that they're telling you here that it's a flesh being. If you don't accept that, then you would not reach out to him. And when it comes down to that time, you're going to think that you know whoever these people are. When you say him, you're talking about people, by the way. Whoever these extraterrestrial beings are, these angels and these hosts who come in and they tell you where he's sitting. If he's God, then let me tell you something. He wouldn't be sitting on the right hand of God. If he's the Most High, he would not be sitting on the right hand of the Most High. He would be sitting on the right hand of the Most High if these were separate people. Now they're in each other and of each other because they're family. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. He knew the name to tell you. He knew the tone to let you come in under. You understand what I'm explaining to you? So what I'm getting at is they're telling you there that that spirit, these prophets, who would not be able to acknowledge this person as a flesh being, would not even know him because he was in the world and the world knoweth him not. If they're referring to that regard, then you're talking about the knowledge of this person being a being who left in the flesh also, which means that he would be what? Also returning in the flesh. You're talking about extraterrestrial people, and you always were talking about extraterrestrial people before the biblical scriptures, before the the Vedic scrolls, before the Quran. Before that, these people were recording this 10,000, 20,000 years ago, encounters with these beings. You understand? So my point in all of that is to tell you that if we can grasp the flesh part, if we can grasp it, and not saying that flesh meaning that these are weak beings, no, I'm saying that they came through that way and left that way, and that these beings come into this realm and can be perceived in some sort of flesh or some sort of ability to observe, which means the light is reflecting off it, in which they have to be some sort of energetic composition for that to happen. Right? Which means that if you walk into a house, you have to smell that gas is in the house. Your mom ever walked in and did that? Like, yo, I smell gas. And she go to the stove and she turn it, whatever type of stove you might have had, she turned the stove off. Right? But if you walk in and you see ice on the floor, right? Then you can see that ice. What am I explaining? That ice is in the form, as these people say that they were, to be observed with the eye. You would not be able to see some gaseous or quote unquote spiritual being with your eye unless they were in a state that was reflecting the light as you, as living flesh beings, do. This is how they disconnected you from your family. This is how they disconnected you, but yet they got all of these recordings throughout history. The Russians and all these other people are in contact with beings and people and families of theirs from Taurus constellation on, and I put the link in my book. So you can go and look at exactly what I'm saying right now. Everything I'm talking about, you can find it in my book. I put the link there so you can go and look at it. And it's going to show you the documentary that explains what I'm saying about what the Russians did. They sent people to travel to Taurus constellations astral projection wise. They sent those people there and brought them back. The CIA has the ability to send people into your home and remote view. Send people into your... It gets deep. Okay? So you are the light. All right? That true light is your light. That's why I start off the book with the prayer or the affirmation. Some of you might say prayer. Okay? But the affirmation that was given to me by my Umi, or my mother, it says, omnipotent, O light. You are led by way of the light. And that light is in your light, O light. It's a powerful affirmation. It's something I've always used when I needed healing inside, when I was distressed, you know what I'm saying? Anything I was going through, if I needed to rebalance myself, I had to remember, first of all, I'm experiencing. I have to just remember that. We have to remember we're experiencing. That's the first thing you have you ever, and I don't know if I'm talking, to anybody here, but have you ever been in a position where you just were having to remind yourself that you exist? Has anybody ever felt that before? Like you're here, but it's like, oh snap, I exist. Why am I saying that? Because when you're saying remind, you brought your mind back to Ray, back to the light. These things are always occurring. You understand? So when I told people like, look, this is gonna be one of them books where it's gonna pick your brain. It's gonna make you have to think. If you're coming from religion, it's gonna push you to think, but it won't take you out of your scripture to think. And I also put it in there disclaimers that if you want to, walk away from what I said, just always remember that you have that birthright. No one has the right to tell you that you have to see it their way and all this. No, if I make an offer, you are able, or it is your birthright to refuse or receive that offer. The same way when you talk about in terms of like the Adam and Eve fruit thing, she didn't have to do nothing. Nobody tricked her. She chose, he chose. That was their choice because they have the will that you have at birth to choose or to not choose. You understand? So again, remembering that, that's why I go into the can God lie and all this other stuff. And the question might be, why do I touch on all of these? Y'all don't understand, or you may not, may not understand how deep the gospel or the ghost spell goes. It's not just on the Christians. It's not just on Christian people, right? It goes very deep. When we're talking about ghosts, you're talking about not being able to fathom something that is spiritual, even having an image. You wouldn't be able to fathom something spiritual having an image because your fathoming comes from your ability to observe. So if I tell you to imagine something, I say imagine a dog, you can see that dog. Most of you probably saw a beige dog. For some reason, when you refer to animals like dogs or cats or horses, people see the color brown or beige. I don't know what it is with that, but some of y'all probably saw that. Or most of y'all probably saw that, but you saw that image. That's not a spirit. That is something that you can account for. Now, I tell you, imagine a spirit. First, what happens is you only see the word spirit, spirit, spirit. Yep. You only see the word. And then what you try to take it to is some robe-like character. You might have went Casper, the friendly ghost. You might have went the ghost that you see on Halloween. You might have even seen the KKK. Go figure. You might have seen Jesus. But you cannot tell me what the image of spirit would be. Now, you can say it's our image. It's man's image. No, man's image is man's image. Man's image came from a spiritual image according to what you're trying to tell people. But the problem is that is where the ghost spell comes from. When they made man in their image, it's because they were also humanoid. Not human, humanoid. Arm, leg, arm, head. The symmetry of the conscious bipedal beings on this planet Earth and in other realms. They call Allah the God or the Lord of all worlds. There are multiple worlds. If this is a world, right, and there's gravity here, as you might call it, density if you like it don't matter. I don't really like when people argue that. If they got time here, if you got space, whatever illusion you think it is, if you got the air and the things that you can breathe, the things that you can eat, the ways that you can survive, then this is a categorical world. Now, if Jesus says, according to scripture, I am not of this world, then what is he telling you? He is of another world. He even tells you his father has a home. In my father's home, there are many mansions. I'll go and prepare a way for you. If I don't go and prepare a way for you, then the comforter won't even come. It's a lot of locational stuff that these people are talking about up and down. I am from above, you are from beneath. I am from out there. I am not of this world. I'm not from here. I came here on a star, is what he's explaining. That star hovered over his birthplace. You said the word hovered. Hovered. The mechanisms of a vehicle. But you will call it a starship. In ancient Egypt, they call it a solar manjdet, or a boat, a flying boat, a sun boat, or aten, the solar disk. Okay? Because when you said solar disk, You were talking about the gold sun, which is the sun in the sky that you see. And you were also talking about the ship that glowed, and they called them Shams in Hebrew. Shams. Why? Because Shams meant the word sun. Shamesh, Shema, Shamu. Saying there was a Shamu was one of the names of the Shams, literally in the books that I grew up on reading. Shamu, the name that they called it, the same way you gave the name Sanander to one of the ships, and you gave the name Marduk or Marduk to one of the ships, and you gave the word Neperu or Nibiru now to one of the ships. They will also name their ships as they named Tiamat, who was also traveling through space, as you call it. Okay? So this is one of the things that we got to get to. When you finally see it, it's like, okay, then it makes sense. Nobody's really disagreeing or agreeing when you really get to the bottom of it and say, well, then there are some recordings, a lot of recordings of these extraterrestrial people. Then we get past the spiritual side of it and we start looking into why does the government or these governments hide these beings? Why do they not want you to get in contact with these people, these beings? Yet every day you're seeing evidence of reverse technology. You're seeing that they're advancing far more, faster than they're telling you they're advancing. They're introducing you piece by piece, little bits by little bits, or what you call generation by generation. Even on the telecom side or the communication side, when they say first generation phone, second generation phone, third generation phone, oh, now we're going into 4G, now we're going into 5G, 6, 7. They got all these other G's laid out for you already, where they're supposed to be walking you piece by piece through their reality into their new reality, which is beyond the song or vibration that you're on right now, which is metaverse. Okay? And even if you want to go into trying to figure out what the meta means, they say it means died or to die or death. Okay, you can say that. Hebrew wise, you can go into that dialect. Yet, you can look at it and saying, even if one was to die or transcend, you as energetic compositions never actually die because you are etheric beings. You're just in a different composition now, including your flesh. So if they were to take your consciousness as its composition is and to shoot it somewhere else, this example of it is in the form of what you call a metaverse. It's an example of what they're capable of doing. And some are even alluding to the fact that that's what's happening right now, that you may not actually be here as far as where you are, location-wise, your actual being, but you may be tuning here. You understand? That's why they even get into the conversation of the woman being God or the woman being one of the ones who established the earth, or of the ones, the Nekteret, as you call them, ancient Egypt, which is the oldest, most ancient civilization, ancient Kemet, ancient Nubia, right? They recorded the Nekteret, or the Nubians recorded them as the gods who were establishing the pyramids and things of the such. And they were not from earth, right? So they got this being that they capture on the moon. They call her the Mona Lisa. You can look this up on DuckDuckGo, okay? Because I found it hard to even find anything on her when you go to Google. But you go to DuckDuckGo and you look up the black alien Mona Lisa, right? And you look it up on DuckDuckGo and you're gonna find that they even have a video where they were saying that they saw this lady on this ship, and she was living and she was dead. They couldn't even decide what the hell to call that. They said she had some type of biochemical covering over her body that was allowing her to stay in some type of meditative state. This will remind you of what movie? The movie Avatar. Okay? When you say the word Ava, what are you saying? Father. Literally in Hebrew. If you would say Ava, you have to say Abba, because when you say V, you're saying B. Better. Ava. So it'll be Abba, and then you say Tara, which will be star, to the star. So you say Father, star, but you will read it as star fathers, or the beings who come farther than this star that you're looking at, which is the sun. I hope you're walking with me, because this is what they show you in the movie Avatar, that they have at least the awareness of, because anything they can imagine is possible. You must understand that, right? Anything that you can imagine is possible. It's only a matter of understanding the language. They even tell you that scripturally, that once Nimrod came together with his people and they established their language and they got it all together, the sciences together, and they started to build this tower of what you call Babel, which is such an interesting word for something that's speaking about something that's very clear, because the word Babel would mean something that is confounded or uneasy to understand or incomprehensible, right? But they came together and they were building this tower, and they said that this tower was able to do what? Reach Elyon, the Most High, or God. And that God went back and got his homeboys and was like, hey, let's go down there. Let's go down there. I'm not here to argue whether or not you want to say that that was Jesus he was talking to. That's not even the point. The point was, he said, yo, they're building something that's going to be able to reach me. Let's go down there and stop this while we can. Because what? While they're on one accord, music note, bing, while they're on one accord and they have the science of language, while they have their language together, nothing will be impossible for them. Nothing will be impossible for them. So the next time somebody tells you that humans have limitation, remind them that even in the words of God, they're saying that if you understand your common language, your word, if you get the concept of the light that is within every man and you figure out the ether, you know the science of this realm, then you can yourself do what CERN is doing because you have done it before. You have built stargates before. Why do you think they were in Iraq? Do you understand? Because of these stargates. So what I'm telling people is, once you get this language, once you figure out what everybody was speaking about this whole time, then the science becomes more clear to you, right? So when you're talking about somebody being able to reach the heavens, you're talking about their ability. You can say NASA. What you're saying, that's such. I tell people, you're talking about leaving the earth realm. Your ability to leave the earth realm is a science. It's a mere science that's keeping you from being able to do that. It's a mere science that's keeping you from being able to be in position that Russia is in. That they understand literally how the mechanisms of the earth work or the mechanisms of the universe work. That they can unpack atoms and hydrogen and all these different covalent bonds and clash them together and splice this and fission that out and pull this together and clash uranium over here and then blow up a whole continent. And they got the strongest weapon that can do that. And it's called the SS Satan or the Shaitan. And don't take my word for it. SS-18 Satan. Go look it up, and you're gonna find that that's what they're telling you is the grandest bomb or the most lethal weapon on the planet Earth. And they called it Shaitana, the same name that meant Tanin or dragon or opposition of God that they spoke about in Revelation 12:7 when they said there was going to be a war in the heavens, and that this person who was not set to prevail had to see the entire world. I know if you pay attention, it might seem like I'm going all around because I am. That's called 360 teaching. We're going to walk over here. We're going to pick this up. We're going to walk over here. We're going to pick this up. You may not even know that you needed this. So I'm going to pick this up for you too. And I'm going to bring you all the way back around, right, to the fact that who we were talking about had the ability, okay, guys, God, angels, angelos, fallen angels, which mean they descended, which would have literally not meant descended because you still think that the earth is flat. If you're still thinking that the earth is flat, then you're coming from, that's actually a newer understanding. It's not what people are trying to tell you that the ancient Egyptians believed that or the Sumerians believed that. No, these people did not know what they're talking about. No, they did not. They were scientists and they have recordings on their walls and on their temples of the different galaxies. The Dogon tribe spoke about different galaxies. They show you the shapes of these realms as far as what they're made of magnetically. They show you that on these template walls. You understand? So when you're speaking about descending onto the earth, what they really were doing was flying into the earth's atmosphere. Even if you want to talk in sense of the magnetosphere or certain dimensions, they had vehicles that were able to lead them into this world, into this realm. Whoever these fallen angels were, they didn't just jump off of one planet or one whatever. Where did they come from? Heaven. Okay, so they didn't just fly down with wings. That's not how this works. When you were talking about these fallen angels, it was not just these ones who you speak about in the book of Enoch. It was not just the 200 who landed on Mount Hermon, right? It was the ones who were coming all around the planet from Anu, the word Anu. An was supposed to be the sky father, the star father, Avatar. Okay? That sky father had children. Sound familiar? All of ye are Anus. All of you are Anu, but you are the children of the highest Anu, which is An. Please don't take my word for what I'm saying to you, because this is where you get the word Anunnaki. This was an observation word that said that beings are coming from outside of the earth into Ki, which is the earth. Literally, that was the word for earth. You understand? So when you get there, you say, okay, cool. We understand, Phase, that you're talking about extraterrestrial beings. So where does the biological and technological part come in? What you can do with technology, living beings are also able to do biologically. Okay? Some needed the technology because they were not biologically capable to do some of these things. This is where you brought in the science of alchemy. Because you would have to be a chemist of El, meaning you would have to be able to source all chi or ki, which means the energy of the earth. When you're saying ki, you're also saying chi. You pronounce it chi. A lot of things in Sanskrit have been mispronounced, by the way, because you say chi, you're saying ki. When you say chakra, you're saying chakra. It's the way that they pronounce it, the tones. There was a reason why they said it certain ways. Okay? When you spoke about the chi or the ki, you were talking about the energy of the earth realm. Okay? That means all what? Elements. What does the word Ella mean? God. Okay? In order for you to be a chemist of El or an alchemist, you had to understand how the sciences work. So then some of these neterat, which means gods, we say neter, to make it plural, we say aat. Okay? If I say neter, I'm saying neterat or neteru. Okay? So if you learn from these neteru, then you say, okay, this is the god of water. This god, Tefnut, is going to teach you all of the sciences of water. Why? Because they come from a realm that also functions this way. They came from a realm that where scientists go, when they're looking for life, what do they always have to figure out first? Does this realm have what? Water, matter, right? Which brings all life. Water, mater, neter. The original God, the source, energy, water must be present for life as you know it to be present. Are we missing anything? The eternal waters of the abyss, which is the eternal waters of chaos. Tefnut Ankh Nunet. Okay? The eternal waters of the abyss. So Tefnut came in and taught you, hey, this is all we know about water. Then you had Shu who came in and said, yo, this is all we know about air. Right? Then you had Tehudi came in, or Jehudi come in and say, yo, this is all that we know about time. This is all we know about arts. That's why they would call him a master teacher, because he didn't just have one side of the doctorates. When you say the word guys, then that's what you were saying, doctors. So how do we get from there to now we're saying that Tahuti is an attribute? The same way you got from Jesus' story being of a flesh person who came through the earth and left as a flesh person, so now he's a spirit. You lost the sciences. And it may be intentional. It may be intentional that some of these sciences were hidden away, because even that is written down in the book of Revelation. The book of Revelation says that at one point in time, Revelation 10:7, that at one point in time, the mystery of God would be revealed. Okay? The mystery will be complete, excuse me. It'll be finished was the word that they use. Complete, done, amun, amen. So mote it be. It will be complete. Yet, it will tell you throughout that the mystery was hidden from man. So when we say mystery, what is the opposite of mystery? History. It sounds the same. Mystery, history. His story versus my story. What they told me, the secret, versus what I am supposed to know, the sacred. So people were kept in the dark, in disorder, until the time of the orders, the Masons, bringing Ma, which is Ma, or the Wa, the water, the light, the intentional life spewer, into the sun, my son, bringing back into the light wisdom. Even in a time where it was said that the wisdom of the wise would perish. But why would the wisdom of the wise perish? Because you think that you know, but you know not. Because you have received your belief as knowledge. But when you keep going, what is the most important thing about you being here? Your ability to observe, or none of this is happening. So your observation is a part of the scientific method. All right. If not the most important, coupled with the experiment process, right? Because you need to test out. But your observation is important, because when you can observe this realm, then you can see, and then you are left with what? The other part, the hypothesis of what even will yield that observation. The hypothesis, as it says, it says pose or position a question instead of saying, I already know. Ask a question. So when someone rejects the scientific method, just realize that that's what they're doing, right? When they reject your question is what I'm saying. They're rejecting the scientific method. They're rejecting your method to be able to figure out more information. If I say, can you explain to me this? And you say, you just had to believe, I can leave you with that statement and turn the mirror and say, no, you just have to believe, if that's what you choose to do. right? But I don't want to believe. I want to know what I can. Why would I want to know? Because I want to be made free. Meaning, if there's anything that I can pick up in this realm that would allow for me to have a more favorable outcome when I exit this realm, please, I want to know that. So that when the time comes, I won't be someone who can say or to try to act like I didn't know that it was important to know, because this is the science. You know what you don't know. So if you show up to that test and you try to play like I didn't know I was supposed to study, you only playing yourself. The teacher's not going to cancel that test because you didn't know. You call this a day of recompense, or the recompense or recompense, or the day of Yom Mudim, Judgment Day, or the day of Yom Kiyama, Day of Resurrection. But you're saying Judgment Day in Christian terms. Or if you want to take it past the religion, you're saying what happens when you cross that threshold of you being a functioning living being right now? What happens then? You have examples of it, sleep paralysis. You have examples of it, the dream realm. You have examples of it, possession. You know that you are sharing this realm with other frequent beings. You call them spirits because you can't see them, but unseen does not mean they're not there. That just means that you, as human beings who can't even see ultraviolet light, can't see them. But dogs can see them. Cats can see them. Your dog will stand at the door and bark relentlessly. They can see. These are beings who have the ability to sense higher than human beings can. You understand? So what does that mean? That all of this is happening within that realm. So when you figured all of that out and you say, okay, cool, all of this is occurring. The L is always, meaning in every direction from me as a conscious being who can perceive it. That's why they tell you everything is relative, including time. Okay, so if all these things are happening, then I must learn how to source this energy. I must learn how to yield this energy. If I want to bring more favorable outcomes in my life, then I become more Christ-like. Or I become more like God as in the idea of good, which means that I can source that energy for favorable outcomes. But if I want to disagree with that or go ra'ah instead of tob, when you say tob in Hebrew, you're saying good. Okay? Or ra'ah, which is opposition of that which would be the evil or the bad, negativity, as you would explain or understand it, right? When you go in that direction, you would say, okay, cool, I will be more like the devil or the opposition. Okay? This doesn't mean that you got horns. It doesn't mean that you got wings. It means that where do you think you're going? Have you set your mind intentionally on where you're going? Do you think that all that it is just sitting right here in front of you? Or do you have an understanding of one day you're going to have to leave this flesh? And if you don't know the sciences of it, when you're faced with, and you go ancient Egypt, Ma'at, which is the scale, but why do they use the scale? Because Ma'at introduced how you needed to merit your frequencies while you were here. Even when she introduced your principles, she tried her best. When you had ISIS, they tried their best to show you what you're supposed to already understand before you get there. Notice, you have commandments that say, thou shalt not. And then you have the principles that were saying, I have not. Because one was saying what you should not do, and that's still true. But another was telling you, like, yo, when you get here, this is what you're going to need to be able to confess. This is what you're going to need to be able to see. Meaning, whether you would say it out of your mouth, what do they say? Your hands would testify against you. Your arms will testify against you. Your brain will testify against you. Your legs will testify against you. Your penis will testify against you. Your vagina will testify against you. Your breast will testify against you. Your spine will testify against you. Your ears. Why am I saying this? Because you cannot lie to yourself, which means you would not be able to deceive frequency that moves scientifically. It does not care what you think you can do with your tongue or what you think you can convince somebody did or didn't happen. It doesn't work that way. Scientifically, it doesn't work that way. This is how you know that God is real. Because that would mean that the God that you're talking about is all right. Because that test is on that desk. If you were supposed to study, that's what we were supposed to do. So the light inside of you must be brought forth. And when we say light, now we have an understanding of what I mean by biologically and technologically. You need some sort of electricity to make the technological, the technology that they have right now move, or you need some sort of magnetism, or you need some sort of plasma. You need the energy, and you need to understand how it works. Okay? Now, biologically, you still have that key. You still have that energy. So when they say ET phone home, I tell you they were talking about the melanin dominant people specifically, it doesn't mean that they're the only ones who have family. I hope we understand that. Okay, they're talking about you as an energetic composition right now have melanin dominant. Okay, and all they were saying was that is a frequency. It's not just the skin color, the pigment. It's your ability to reach out to people who also exist in that frequency elsewhere. ET, meaning you are in the earth, but you are an extraterrestrial. He was an extraterrestrial. He was not from earth, but he was walking amongst man in flesh. And he was supposed to be reaching out to the mother plane or the mothership, as the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan speaks about, Dr. Malachi York speaks about, Honorable Elijah Muhammad spoke about. Okay, this was talking about actual, what you would call chariots in the Bible, who were able to come down and lift people up, as you saw what happened with Elijah. You can even say the whirlwind. Okay, if you want to be more specific of how it might appear. But you're talking about, again, something that can take somebody from one place to another as a shuttle would. So this ET ship or this mother plane or mother ship comes down to get ET only after ET was able to, right? Which you'll see, he technologically was able to reach out. It's working, ET. It's working. If you remember the scene, okay? It was so interesting too. They had the Caucasian boy helping him. I thought that was, interesting. And you find it out, okay, the Caucasian knew how to technologically do it. I hope y'all catch it what I'm putting down. So he said, it's working, ET. And this ET is pointing his finger out, and what comes from out of ET, if you remember, the light. Okay? So these sciences have been hidden from people. Okay? These sciences have been hidden from us. So that means that when we're talking about what's happening in this realm of observation, if we want to advance, then we must know the sciences. We have to. We have to. Russia should not be the US should not be China, Korea should not be the only ones who even have the faintest idea of how to build a nuclear weapon. These are the weapons of the gods. Do you know that? This is what the Sumerians had. This is what they documented. This is what the ancient Egyptians documented. These were weapons that were reserved for gods. Now mankind has those weapons. That's why if you look and try to see in modern day time, what other nuclear wars or attacks, okay, on a mass level we're speaking about, not little, took around 800,000 lives, Hiroshima or Nagasaki, okay? You go back and look at that and see that that's what happened then, and you compare it to what types of wars they've been having since, or what type of fights. Has there been another nuclear war like that? Absolutely not. And you remember, if you were paying attention, how I've explained to people on here the reason why. The real reason for the Antarctic Treaty. I don't know why people done merged that into flat Earth. It had nothing, absolutely nothing to do with the Antarctic Treaty. And they never said in the Antarctica Treaty that you couldn't go to Antarctica. You probably can't go because you probably didn't never look and see if you could go. So right now, you're not able because you haven't looked into what would even make you capable. You don't even need a visa to go to Antarctica. I tell people, what do people stop just listening to people talk? No, go look into what they're saying. Can you go to Antarctica? And watch these people explain to you that as long as you have some type of representation, as long as you go to get some type of approval from your government, that you can show that you're on some type of scientific exploit or some type of voyage, that you can say, like, this is what we're going to do. You can go to Antarctica right now. They got people out there. Don't take my word for it. Google where people are taking selfies in Antarctica. Like, that didn't have nothing to do with the flat earth. What it had something to do with was that all of y'all had to, first of all, acknowledge that we are allowing these other people, the Nazis, the Germans, to come in and do business over here with us. We're showing them sciences. We're letting them know where the caverns are, where the caves are, where the underground bases used to be, so that they might build and get away from y'all destructive asses. And while not y'all, as in people in this room, they're talking about the U.S., okay? And while they were trying to do, what happened? What wound up happening? Richard Byrd and the rest of his fleet went over there and tried to attack those people. And I'm telling you, the link that's in my book that shows you, them people went over there, they tried to get to attack those people, and they were attacked by extraterrestrial beings. And they got footage. They have footage. They have footage. Like, when people just be talking, like, look, they got footage. Russia has footage. Russia said, we finna tell everything. And they made sure their children knew too. They got footage of that. When you got people say, Putin made the message and he like, man, I don't give a fuck what y'all talking about. We don't want these niggas in front of our door with no nuclear bombs. We know what these people do. We don't see, you don't think Russia saw Hiroshima? You don't think Russia saw Nagasaki? You don't think Russia knows what the hell these people over here are capable of? When they ain't getting, and don't mean that Russia ain't capable of the same shit. Don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that power is saying, nigga, get your ass out my yard. What the fuck is you doing in my yard? I don't want you in my yard. You won't let nobody stand in your yard that you don't fuck with right now. What you think them motherfuckers gonna do? And they got powerful weapons like that. They don't give a fuck. Get out my yard, nigga. You gonna see what's gonna happen. He said you gonna see something like you've never seen in history. You know what he was making a comparison of? Hiroshima. He was making a comparison, a plain comparison of Hiroshima. He said, you gonna see, y'all gonna, if you get involved, you gonna see some shit you ain't never seen before. And this on my mama. That's how you were talking. That like a nigga say, step across that line if you want to. I got something for you. That's what they explaining. So the thing is, we talking about biologically and technologically. Human beings are powerful. You are that source energy that we're talking about. You have that within you. The kingdom of God is within you. The spirit of the Most High is within you. All of these things you will be able to do, even if you believe not just on me, but of the works. But anyone who believe on me, this is something I was going to explain. Meaning, if you already received what I was explaining, if you caught what I was teaching you, then trust me, these ain't going to be miracles to you. This is going to be simple alchemy. Okay? So I know it might sound crazy, yet it's insane. I'm telling people it's inside of the same. You have to be inside of your sanity to understand it. And I'm not saying understand it, I'm saying overstand it. We're talking about levels of sight. You can only see what's happening on higher levels if you're standing up there. Neteru stand up. They go over. They look at the human beings or the lesser light beings and they're less than, or they're the lower light. Brother Blue. Peace, Brother Blue.
Brother.
Peace, peace, peace.
Peace, God.
Yeah, we running away, man. We about to get into. Well, I think it's really we about to get into what again the reset of the book. We done broke down some of the sciences of it and talking about the light is within. I even told him that I'm gonna have to do a spin off and an extension of it and talk about the darkness too, and not just the light because I think that the light can be broken down, yes, but there's also something that needs to be explained further too, and that's the darkness. So what say you?
Um, you can't have one without the other. And some people would say that that's a main miscalculation of maybe, let's say, the conscious community, where they only advocate speaking about, the light aspect of things, but those are conjoined forces. And then when your quote unquote religion or doctrine does not prepare you to play in the shadows, but then the people who study the dark know the dark and the light, that kind of gives them an advantage. You know what I'm saying? Because they know how to get around some things. When the lights go out, religion got our people literally scared to death of the dark, which makes them very fearful of the concept of death itself. And that within itself cuts them off from even living. So it's very important that, you teach it. I think even that's what Star Wars about. That's what they was trying to tell Luke. Like, you got to know this to really be a Jedi, because you have to conquer that aspect of yourself that's connected with darkness or lower forces or lower entities. And that would be your lower three chakras, you know. Um, I guess in the Bible, they categorize it jealousy, hate, and envy, something like that, you know. Masonry says that you have to circumscribe it, right? You got to put the cable toe and put an apron on it. You know what I'm saying? You have to pretty much bring into to balance and your beast, your inner beast, your primal self, that animal part of you that, theoretically, what I'm saying, man would say that he don't have no control over, but what separates a man and a god? So saying all that to say, yeah, you definitely need to teach the other part of it.
100%. When you say Luke or say no Luke, I am your father. I think that was one of the Mandela effects too. Niggas was trying to say that he didn't actually say no Luke or he said
Yeah,
Luke.
they try to tell us that
That
shit.
shit was crazy. I remember that. Like, no, like Luke, nigga, pay attention. I am your father.
Right. We
When they was,
clearly remember
what
that.
was his, yeah, what was his name? Luke Skywalker. Okay, I explain to people. People see this is a misconception too. People say the biggest trick of the world or the biggest trick of the devil is convincing people that he doesn't exist. No, what wound up happening was, first of all, it's very evident that opposition exists. It's very evident that throughout history there has been oppositions. What you mean by devil? And it's been devilish beings that do devilish things. It's very obvious. It's all around you. What they did was they separated you from yourself, separated you from the family aspect of that which is God, and convinced you that God doesn't exist, which
Hmm.
would mean none of this is happening and will also mean that you don't exist. So it's,
Right.
it's like, what kind of spell work, advanced spell work, by the way, because you're talking about things that have been injected into the genome of people, things that have been injected into the bloodline of people. That's why I say the ghost spell and has been the hardest thing to break. Even when Pops was coming through to break it, he didn't want to just have to keep talking about religion. Yet he had to come through giving people what they wanted so they could learn and want what he has to give. The ghost spell has permeated. It's gone beyond just religion. You are the guys, yes, because you are Neteru. You are the ones who are in control of your realm, and a lot of you have genes within you that tie back to those families of people who were there. Literally, the ones who were there. You are returned them, meaning you turn back to Ray or reincarnated back into the flesh, and you are expressing that energy as them all over again. So he said, yo, I am your father. They got you fighting me. That's the
Hmm.
dark. That's the dark that we're speaking about. They got you fighting me. They got you fighting all of the things that I told you. They got you fighting all of the things that I left you. I told you to source the energy, but then they told you if you become a sorcerer, then and look at what they even called it. They called it divination. They put the word divinity in it. They
Right.
put the word source in it, but told you if you were to lean into those sciences, that you were against God, yet all of the ones who came through, even if you said they did it through God, they still were able to do it.
Facts.
Moses had a scepter, he had a wand, and he was able to work, according to scripture, many wonders with that wand.
This is a fact.
Jesus was able to walk up to people and cast people out, throw people away. You had Simon, you had all these other people, like literally, they was like, yo, when he pulled up on the pharaohs. And no, it's so interesting that they don't ever specify which pharaoh they're talking about, by the way. They only think that people are still children and don't understand that when you were talking about pharaohs then, you wasn't talking about the ancient Egyptians. But even the ones who came through and learned those sciences, they were able to also do what Moses was able to do. Now, you can say that they use different energy. Just take it as the principle that that's possible, that you can use different types of energy or use that energy for certain things, different types of things. It would only be unfavorable, though, to the one who's standing in opposition. So the devil would be devil to God, but God would be devil to devil. You understand? Meaning the devil word, meaning opposition. So I thought that was interesting that they said Luke, which is loose, Luci, Lucy, Lucifer, light, Luch, Lum, Lu. That was light always. Then you said bearer of light, carrier of light. So you gave him Luke, and then you gave him Skywalker, which would be Anuna or Anunnaki, coming down from the sky, walking down, or the steps of heaven, as you might explain it, which was speaking about the pyramids also as it pertains to Orion and the connection, which the word Orion meant heaven. Right? So we get into the darkness part. We will get into that because I'm going to do a book on it. And if you understand the light, you really are getting a grasp or a grips of what the darkness is. It's just very important for people to understand now that we, like when I brought out earlier, we talking about can God lie? We just need to finally understand that all of this ties into who we are. All of this also ties into how we are. Because if you can grasp the possibility of God lying, which I think I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna reset and I'm gonna visit that chapter. I'm gonna let y'all come up and answer some questions or ask some questions, and then we can go on, you know what I'm saying, and do our moonwalk stage left. So what we got here? Okay, so can God lie? Okay, so I got that loaded up. This is one of the chapters. I'm gonna do the reset real quick. So right now we got the book, You Are the Light, all right? And I'm telling you that all right It's saying all is right already. It's already perfect. Everything is perfect. So you are the light within that perfection. All right. Okay. That's the book that I have. As y'all know, I'm doing a fundraiser. So this is one of the ways that, we're taking it step by step. We at 2,500 right now. So we just taking it step by step. I might just start just doing more rooms, what I'm saying? Not just about the books and things like that. And just leave the link up there if y'all ever want to just, step in. But this is one of the ways that you can support the fundraiser. All right. And you can also get something in return that's not just me speaking, not to, demean the value of that, but not just me speaking. You can have it tangibly or right there in your phone, what I'm saying, so that you can be reading it. So if you want to make a donation, if you would make a donation, you can make a donation of any amount and put your email there, and I will send you the copy. I'll send you the book, and you'll be able to read it. And I'll be sending it out throughout the day. You understand? So this is not like the Master Pat book. The Master Pat was too damn huge. That was the first time and the last time that I'm ever gonna do it like that. That's why I had to do the whole linking in, and everybody had to get their iCloud and all this other stuff. So just before we get back into it, if you did purchase the Master Pack book and you weren't able to receive that book, just send me the screenshot of your purchase, and send me your email, and I'll send you this book. You know what I'm saying? And all the 4 other books too. I want to make sure that was clear, that wasn't something that was like, oh, I couldn't do anything about it because the Android users, they couldn't have an iCloud. So I didn't know that was going to happen. So that's my apologies on that. If you're in the room and that happened for you, right? So just that's one of the ways. So yeah, so donate to that, donate to the cause. I'm raising money. We're trying to get up to 100,000. We are getting up to $100,000 so that we can put a major engine behind phase 1. So it's happening. We already, on our way there, which means we're already there. It's just a matter of wherever location we are, So let's keep moving. That's how you can support right now. Donation, any kind. Send your email with it. Make sure you send your email with it, and I'll send it to you throughout the day. So we're going to get into this real quick. Can God lie? I want to gloss over it some so y'all can, when y'all get the book, it ain't like no super spoiler. You can, go into it. But can God lie? I'm gonna start it off. It says, this is a deeper conversation regarding the true light. We must understand that if there's a so-called true light, then it must also be a light that is the opposite, which would be called the false light. Let's first establish that this light can also be understood allegorically as the information that one receives throughout their life. Think in terms of the word enlightenment, which means the state of being enlightened. Enlightened meaning having or showing a rational or well-informed outlook on a state of one's being or being spiritually aware. That light can be manipulated, it can be coveted, hidden, twisted, disguised, etc. Knowledge of this realm and all of the truths one is able to uncover and realize, as well as the activation of that knowledge, can be used to liberate or to enslave. That light can be used to inform or to misinform, right? And when we say the word inform, we're saying to get in alignment. You can say inform when you're talking about your chakras, okay? You can say inform when you're speaking about your chakras or the spinning disc or the coiled snake, right? There's jumping up and down your spine day in and day out. If you want to get that in alignment, then you would say get information. The more information you have on these chakras, the better off you are as far as your alignment. But if you are misinformed, it'll throw you out of alignment, right? If you were especially speaking about that, it would throw you out of alignment and you would not be able to align that properly, okay? So it is written in the scripture that the opposition, or the Tanin, which is the dragon, and that old serpent that was mentioned in Revelation 12:7-9 was capable of deceiving the whole world. Is this something that only the opposition, as you would call the devil, is capable of? Here's the answer. No. This is also something God must be able to do. For if he weren't able to deceive or to tell a lie, then that in itself would be you placing a limitation on God. This could not be so, according to scripture, for it is written. Mark 14:36 is an example that I provided for them, where Jesus prayed to the Father after he came to grips with the gravity of the potential of his death. Okay? Mark 14:36 read, and he said, Abba, Father, all things are possible unto you, or unto thee. Take away this cup from me. Nevertheless, not what I will, but what thou will. Do you see this as a statement, or do you see this, is a statement coming straight out of the Bible that was said to have been made by the only begotten Son of God, who would indeed, by that fact alone, be familiar with his Father by way of his Father. Jesus has said that all things are possible for God, and so to even insinuate that it is impossible for God to lie would contradict the scripture that quotes his very son saying that nothing is impossible for him, God. So what's the trick? People are being taught to believe that God is only capable of good because he's recorded to be good. Yet, murder is not good, as you would explain it. And God has an extensive record of murderous acts throughout the stories. This would be good for God, yes, but not for the lives of the people or the innocents, like the children who suffered the death plague that you so proudly boast about in Egypt. It can be argued that's just God's plan, yes, until it's your child. Then you're wondering why, even screaming out and questioning him, the God you serve. This is because you can only see good in God subjectively. And when that subjectivity goes unchecked, the reality of God being also capable of doing bad becomes almost fathomable, or excuse me, unfathomable. So I'll land this chapter with this, and it says, anyone who will want you to exist in that type of paradoxical state of mind would be undoubtedly deceiving you. However, if this breakdown is personal to you, and you feel that it is a challenge of faith, and it doesn't currently sit right with your spirit, then I want to take this time out to remind you that all of these things boil down to the birthright that you as a conscious human being currently possess, and that is your will, or your free will, if you rather say it that way. You don't have to internalize what I'm explaining. I'm only aiming to provoke you, reader, to establish the habit of always thinking for yourself, that you may be centered in this universe, able to turn in any direction to observe this infinite plane of information called existence. Okay? So I go into explaining a whole lot more about it with the people that even said in Numbers that God can't lie, he can't repent, but then Genesis 6:6 said that he did. And I break all that down. And it's not to disprove, that's not the type of timing I'm on, like, oh, yeah, I got him. No, that's not what it's about. The reason why I wanted to break that down is because when you grasp that God is capable also of lying, then you understand the likeness more. You understand the likeness of God more because you are like God. And you are capable of doing what God can do. And God does all things. He create evil. He create peace, positivity, negativity. Don't think you, because you feel like it, can limit this force, this mysterious force that you're speaking about that has now been described as the atoms and the different types of ways energy can be moved. It's not something that is separate from yourself. It is within you. It's a part of you. You can move this energy around. You can do all of these things. And if you were bombed, you would not think that was a good thing. So what do you think? Regardless of their actions, which they were acting on a free will that you say God gave them, what do you think those children, you know what I'm saying, or the mothers of those children who lost their children to that death plague, what do you think they felt? That that was a good act? What do you think about the people who were in Sodom and Gomorrah when they were bombed? Now you might say rain fire. Well, that's because you're speaking in transliteration. Like you're speaking back how they might have spoken. Yet you know what that means now. That's a nuclear weapon. And they bombed those cities. And those people died. Right? Now that was whoever these guys were, that was their response to people being out of order. This was not a good act. No matter how much you shape it, form it, it wouldn't be good to those people, only good to God. Subjectivity. Okay, so that's the biggest thing. If we understand that, then we have the bigger choice of, okay, so then what side of this are we gonna stand on? You know what I'm saying? Do we want to bring people together to raise the consciousness? Do we want to see the generations not have to go through the same falls of consciousness that we've been experiencing? Do we want to continue to rises? Can we get more numbers of people? Are we willing to get more numbers of people to get on this rise? That's what this is all about. Because one day, phase one, as you know me, because all I am is an event that's existing that you are thinking of and you're able to perceive. One day I'm gonna be gone. It could be today. It could be tonight. It could be right now, in this moment. Boom, something happened. Oh, I don't know what happened to you. You went out. And you hear it on the news. Phase one, passed away. Okay, cool. That's it. Why is there no fear in that regard? Because it's true. What point is there to have fear of something that's true? What will be the point in fearing that? That is the truth, that one day all of us in this room will not be here anymore. So what makes us think that we have the ability or the time to play? Just our choice in the matter of what it is we're here to do. That's all it is. So there we go. That was the reset. That was a little bit of the book. I go into other things. I talk about Tahuti. I tell people that's very important. I speak about the mental netter. I talk about all of these things because the light is something that's been thrown around. And like Blue was saying, like, you know, it's not just how people are trying to explain it. Like, no, it's not no good and bad. It's about understanding the soul that is within you and how it can be manipulated. It was a video that I posted on my story of this person who walked on a train. It was crowded. And he acted like he was finna throw up. So he kept doing his little, you know what I'm saying, leaning forward and grabbing his stomach. And everybody got up and ran away. And then he just sat down. And he took out his phone. And it's like, what you gonna do? You moved. You got up and you moved. But why did you do that? Because you were experiencing someone who understood how people would respond just off of the smallest hint of a situation. Why? Because not knowing whether or not that person's finna throw up will lead people to act on get out the way, fear, run. Don't let it get on me. That's how if you think one person can do that on the train, what you think your government been doing for generations? One person did that on the train, you clear a train. Right? Especially when you had the COVID situation, let a nigga cough and everybody getting off at the next stop. Let him cough uncontrollably and people finna take a taxi. Look, I understand this already. I'm watching, I'm paying attention. I told people, pay attention. I said, look, see what's happening over there? Okay, people said Russia and the war didn't have anything to do with them. They were paying attention to that. Algorithmically, they must pay attention to it. Why do you think Clubhouse is here? Right? Because they wanted to make sure that they were keeping up with the frequencies. This is data. Every time we speak, every time you click something, scroll, tap something, go into the chat, follow somebody, move your phone to the left or to the right. That algorithm is being sent to people. That algorithm is being sent to overseers who can see all things because of the algorithms. They're able to track and see what different types of people are doing, and they can even traject or project or look at the trajectory of what this person will do later or what they may be able to do later. They might even show you why they're able to have movies about people coming in and getting arrested because of a murder that they was about to commit. I know that might sound crazy, but my point to you is they're looking at all of this algorithmically and they can tell. They say, okay, the so-called black people are saying that this don't have nothing to do with them. So what did they pull? Now, when I say they, I'm saying read your realm is what I'm explaining. What did they pull? Africans are trapped at the border. Sound familiar? When you wasn't interested in the other stuff, Haitians are trapped at the border. Now, any other day, Africans ain't black people. They don't get along with us. We don't like them. They surviving off of our blood and sweat and tears. And then they show you that these Africans, we got to bring our people here. So, listen, what I'm explaining to you is not that you're wrong to care. That's not what I'm explaining. I'm telling you that you're dealing with masters. You're dealing with masters. They're not even on the chessboard. Now what? I told you, watch for 3 days and it will fade away. Now, do you hear a rise or uprising about that any longer? What even became of that? Are you looking around? Are you paying attention? What even became of that? Did them people get anywhere? Did they make it out? Did they just go home? Was it real? Were people really in a frenzy? Or did they need you back in tune with what they had going on? This would be a question that you have to answer for yourself. You would know the answer if you were actually paying attention. Because to pay something means to actually be active. If you were paying attention, you would see it. I see it all. I'm like, yo, that was hilarious. No, not the idea of people being trapped. Not even the idea of the baby freezing. But notice that was the 2 videos, including one of the videos where somebody was somehow they put their pets on the train before us. Nigga, how do you got time for an interview? Ain't y'all supposed to be doing something like evacuating? What are you doing? I thought this was some frenzy shit. I just can't understand why they would do so. I see to let the women first. I see that, but they put the pets. Nigga, this don't have nothing to do with nothing. We don't care about nobody pet getting on a train. I thought this was something that was like, you have to evacuate right now. It's so dangerous. If you don't get out, it's all over. You understand? And I'm not saying that people aren't going through these types of things. I'm telling you to be active and paying attention, because if you could be pulled and swayed, or if I could just stand on a train and act like I'm finna throw up and clear a train out, then something's going on in my mind that isn't going on in yours. Something's happening with my reality that isn't happening in yours. So what's the difference? Somebody knows how to control the current or flip the current, and the other person is being flipped with it. Okay, so that's the light. So again, just a quick reset. We getting close to the end. I didn't want to take it too much. I didn't want to drag this out. You know what I'm saying? Because I want y'all to really get into the book. So just a quick reset. We got 66 people in here. If you would please, I don't even want to say that like that. You know what I'm saying? Donate. Just, you know what I'm saying? Tap in. Even if it's $1, just do it. Just tap in. Put your email there. I would love to just send out 66 copies. I would love to just do it like that. So just tap in, send your donation, whatever the donation is. We taking this step by step. I told we had 2,500 already. That's good for less than 30 days. So, you know what I'm saying? We should at least have hit up 3 grand before the 30-day period has ended. You understand? I think that's within the next 3-4 days. It will be the 30 days. But the point is, look at how far we've already come. We've already taken the walk. And I know when I'm saying we, you like, what does that have to do with we? You'll see. You know what I mean? With money or no money, you're going to see what I mean when I'm saying we. All right? Because this ain't phase one. It's not. It can't be phase one. It can't be. If it was just phase one, I'd be somewhere working a 9 to 5. I'd be chilling out, you know what I'm saying? I give me a little girl, go kick it, you know what I'm saying? Live life. And whatever happens, happens. Whatever comes, comes. But that's not what this is. When you have to think grander, you have to buck. You got to buck the system. Why I'm bucking the system is they don't expect consciousness, the actual true consciousness, like what y'all are hearing me break down in this room. The way that these tones carry out, and y'all like, damn, okay, cool, okay, that, you know what I'm saying, like that. They don't expect that to make it to the mainstream. It's not even something that they can project. Like they can't even see it because they're looking at the people, not, oh, it's one person who's woke over here, it's a few persons who woke over there. They don't care nothing about that. They don't even care how I speak on this app. They're trying to see how many people are listening, and that's when they start shadow banning me and stuff like that. But look at how we performing with a shadow ban. Look what's happening with shadow bans. Like I'm shadow banned, but look at what's happening in these different apps with the shadow ban. It was a time when people say, why you won't open the room? I'm like, they won't let me. I can't open a room. Every time I go to try to start a room and I press the button, the shit will click off to my main screen. And I tried again. I tried it 10 times in a row. It's like, they won't let me do a room. And it was like that for months. You understand? But I said it as soon as I was able to. Okay, here we are. We can do a room. So there we go. Send a donation. Send your email with the donation. If you already sent the donation and you didn't send the email, just DM me your email. You understand? Like DM me, say, I sent your donation. Here's my email. You know what I mean? And I'll send you the book. And it really, I ain't really too stressed about no money. That's what I'm saying. I don't care. Like, just do the dollar. I would rather send everybody the damn book. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's cool with me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not really stressed about it. Like, if anybody know, it's been time when people say, yo, I don't even have Cash App. Like, yo, I don't. I was like, yo, then just send me your email. You know what I mean? It's not even. I'm not stressing like that. I know how this works. The energy is already divine already. You know what I mean? We already moving. I'm grateful that this is the 6th book now. Like, I remember telling y'all that I'm gonna start writing books. And now it's like I can, if I want to tomorrow, I can announce on Instagram, and I might even do that. Because that's how energy move. I can announce on Instagram, yo, right now you can send a donation and you can get 6 books. No, it will be 5 books because that master pack. I can't with the master pack. That shit pissed me off. But yeah, I can give you 5 books right now, so people could donate $1 and get 5 books full of information. Like no, like you can't beat that, and it's gonna always be like that. Nobody can tell. People tell me why you say, man, because somebody might have that dollar, or somebody might have 1,000. Why would I not allow for that to move however they would want it to move, and they still get the load? So I could have 20 books. And I tell people, yo, you can send in $1, you get these 20 books. I don't want to hear nothing from nobody talking about some underselling. No, you get into the grand scheme of things, it's like this information need to get out, period. People need to know, people need to be thinking like this, period, and not just in some books. We need it to be that phase one is on the mainstream, and it's not that hard. I'm telling you, it's not that hard. We're getting there. We're making it happen. Brother Blue, I appreciate you coming through, man. Like, if you want to explain, brother, what you doing too with the Netaverse. If you want to explain a little bit what you're doing, or a lot of it what you're doing, or a lot of what you're doing, I want to open the floor up for you too, family. If you want to do that.
Indeed, I appreciate the opportunity. I told you I always pull up just to hear you talk, just to hear you build. You're a master teacher in my eyes. The way that you synthesize, and bring all of the information to a pinnacle, and you have an extraordinary ability to make sense of it all. And everybody does not have that gift. And for that skill set, for that talent, The fact that you got sight and vision, yeah, people definitely, should honor that. You can't put a price on that. You know what I'm saying? When somebody gives you vision, when someone gives you sight, when someone allows you to see things that you previously were unable to see or didn't have access to see, it's like getting a fresh new pair of eyes. It opens up all kind of new realms of possibilities. So you can't put a dollar tag on that. You feel me? It's just an energy exchange. It's such an even exchange. Like you leave the bartender a tip. You know what I'm saying? So let's make sure that the brother has the necessary basis is covered, because he's obviously one of our era's most profound creators. I don't know where the brother find the time. Like, honestly, you need to do a whole book on that. Like, time management. If you do counseling for time management, you're definitely gonna get some clients. Every time I open IG, you know what I'm saying? He got like a new video and shit. Like, my guy be doing new music videos every other day, and I'm like, but he was on Clubhouse for 6 hours. I- But definitely, we sat back and made observations about what people's trepidations there. People were complaining about why they didn't want to interface with technology and engage in the metaverse, and some people had legitimate reasons. First and foremost, the current model that's being packaged and presented to them by Mark Zuckerberg by way of Meta, that's a centralized metaverse, and there's not a lot of safety guards put in place that's protecting women and children. So it's a continuation. Now it's like abuse in 3D as opposed to abuse in 2D, which is what Web 2 offered when it was just, you know, unprecedented data mining taking place. You know what I mean? Now they want to be invasive. You know what I'm saying? Now they not only want to get in your mind, they literally want to get inside of your body. So if you have not already established a trust factor with a corporation or entity that sees profit over people, and you just willingly want to step into this realm that they don't promise you any safety guards, any safety measures, you know what I'm saying? So we decided to do something, counter to that. That definitely would be the alternative, whereas it would be a metaverse that's decentralized and a metaverse that protects women and children. So we established the Netaverse, and it definitely has been a divine undertaking, you know, to put the clean glass of water next to the dirty and see the dirty glass get that much more filthier and clouder and just exposing itself right now. You know, what these people never want to do is deal with competition, because the fight that they fight is to control the narrative, right? That's what they do on social media. That's what they do in the realms of academia. You feel me? That's what they do all across the board. They don't even want to give you the fair one. You know what I'm saying? They just want to fucking default to fight every time. So they avoid the fight. They censor you. They ban you. They shadow ban you. You know what I mean? But they want to suppress what's being said so they can control the narrative. Because if they're responsible for putting this image in people's mind about, you know, whatever they want to convince you about themselves, that's not the necessary truth. It's just a figment of your imagination and you projecting it. So that's how they get their thing off. With a realm such as this, again, that is solely based on the model of earning to learn. So the premise of this particular metaverse is a gamified adventure where you earn to learn, and what you're learning is yourself. It's a knowledge of self quest. It's a hero's journey, and it's gonna be amazing because there's so many solution engines built into it, and the people they could be expecting, I would say, full access around spring 22. But right now they could jump into the Discord. and get acclimated and familiarized with, some of the things we got going on over there, some of the things we've already done, and some of the, plans we got. We got sweepstakes and everything's going on. We did an introductory room last night, and they gave away like 30,000 coins or something like that. It was a bonanza. But yeah, again, just focalizing our energy on solution based technology, and it's been a beautiful ride thus far. Peace.
100%. I appreciate you. I'm watching. I be seeing you tear shit up too. You be tearing shit up. I be paying attention. You be tearing shit up. I
Thank
don't
you,
even
bro.
be knowing how the hell you be finding all that. Like everybody has to. It's like y'all. We have to be doing exactly what it is we supposed to be doing. Cause for some reason you in a position where you able to extract all of these 44s out this matrix like all the time. You say like how you see the videos on my page. I be like every time I go to your page, it's some shit with 44 or 27 is like, and it don't be some shit that you typed up and was like, look at how I'm making it. Like it be exactly what they be done said, or the ages of this person, or the you know what I'm saying, the amount of people
Yeah,
that's in this
it,
country, or I be looking. I'm like, yo, this,
it,
and
it
I
tied.
have to see it for my bad.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say I have to see it for what it is. You know what I'm saying? Certain things resonate, certain things don't. But what happens with you, it resonates, and I have to see that. A lot of people just just be speaking, but I'm like, yo, you one of the ones, you one of the pillars, and that's not even no pun intended. That word just popped up. You are one of the pillars, and I appreciate you for that. We see that. I also remember too, when I first did, and I don't forget nothing. When I first did, the fundraiser, and we was in the room, and you raised the whole bid. You know what I'm saying? And you didn't know much. You knew me, but you didn't really know much of me, bro. Like you didn't. You only resonated. You didn't know much of me. Not like we go back
I,
all the way, but you
bro,
still rose a bid, and you
I
still.
saw your passion on day one, and I know you. You feel me? That's where you're wrong. I
I
know the
understand.
bloodline you come from. You know what I'm saying? I would say that I'm a child of pop as well. Just even if I wasn't totally immersed in the information, I had seen it from such close up. I saw the effects of it. I know the effects of it. I manifest the effects. I've benefited from the effects of it. So the discipline factor, the dedication to narrative, the detail that's given because of that, and the fact that everybody who comes out of that doctrine is nothing like, you know what I'm saying? That ordinary shit that's out here taking up a lot of room. So I'm like, I know where your passion come from. You know what I'm saying? I know exactly who you are. And I'm like, that's the energy that you support. You don't block that. You know what I mean? And you know it's gonna come in like Aries energy. It's gonna come with you know what I'm saying? It's gonna come ramming some shit down. It's gonna come knocking some motherfucker. Cause they got the pretty China set up, right? That's the community. They're like, don't knock the China over. This shit is expensive. You know? I got this from the Ming Dynasty when the black
Fuck
people
that
ruled
China.
China.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think coming through knocking down China. And it was a breath of fresh air because it's always like, yo, it should be able to stand up to scrutiny if it's real. If the shit start fumbling and crumbling and people start, you know what I mean, making all of these excuses, you're like, damn, the foundation wasn't really as strong as you thought it was. So I love the fact that, you speak your truth, you represent that, you stand on it, you know how to triangulate it. You know what I'm saying? You give the inner over and understanding of it. So I I will always support that.
And I appreciate it, man. We gonna walk. We gonna keep walking. You know, I didn't want to go
And and
too. Go ahead.
and I told you before I met you, I already felt that you was one of the dopest artists because I heard your music first, and then I met you on the apps, and I put one and two together. Like, yo, that's the same person. So you were an extraordinary artist. Your ability to master composition is bar none. It in their world, it would be like a Juilliard standard. You know what I'm saying? And it's not too much different about what they were saying about Mr. Shakur. So, yeah, I see greatness in you. You know what I'm saying? You one of the ones for sure.
I have to second Blue Pill real quick because I'm the same way. I met FaZe about a year ago, and just like you, Blue Pill. Anytime I see FaZe room, I jump in a room because I'm gonna learn something. I got a notebook, my phone ready to go because class is always in session. So I just want to challenge everybody in this room. I made a donation to FaZe about a week ago, but I challenge everybody in this room just to do a donation as well, just like Blue Pill did last year. I'm just doing this because I feel like it's what we got to do. We have to begin to build one another up. You look at what the Jews do. You look at what the Mexicans do. They tribe and support one another. We do, but we got things like in Tulsa that get burned down. So we got to build a new Tulsa. And right now we can do it with FaZe because, in my opinion, we have no leaders. We got people that have been fake leaders all these years, right? But from what my vantage point from my life, I've only seen people like FaZe and Blue Pill on this app. I haven't seen anybody else that has poured into me and allowed me to evolve and learn things as I've learned on this app. I've grown in less than a year just by meeting people like FaZe and Blue Pill. So I just want to come in the room and show love for Blue Pill and for FaZe because we need more people like y'all speaking truth. And I challenge everybody, like FaZe said, even if it's $1.50, like we got to support one another. We got to keep our money in the money of the community. That's it, y'all. Peace and love.
Hey man,
Peace.
I want to thank all of you. I want to thank you for that, AJ. I remember we came in. We were speaking on Dr. Sabi. We were speaking on the brother. We were speaking on the family. I'm grateful. This is why this is gonna be the last reset, and we go ahead and we just we meditate through the rest of our shadow hour. I'm about to get into the exercising. Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna raise up the stakes. I don't know if that's how we would how we would say it, but I'm gonna raise it up, and I'm gonna say that I'm gonna go ahead and instead of just doing the and it's so I can just do this instead of doing the you are light or right book alone. I'm gonna also do the Why book, the Who Knows the Secrets book, the Did Jesus Really Die for Your Sins book, and the How to Fight COVID and Win. It's not just about no virus. That book goes deeper into a lot of things. But I'm gonna throw all 5 of those books in, and the reason why I'm doing this is because I want everybody to tap in. Like I want everybody to tap in. When he said even if it's $1, I literally mean that. I want you to use that dollar as like a hand raising symbol, like it's a roll call. And that if you can hear me saying that, it's not because I'm looking like, oh, it's 79 people in here. Come on, y'all. Like, hear through my words what I'm saying. Hear through what I'm saying. Like, you gotta hear through me, right? When I'm talking, like even with Blue, what you just said, the reason why I'm able to do all this, of course I have the skill. I have the skill to do like the videos. I have the skill to do the music. I have the skill to do the books. But I'm not clocking in. You know what I'm saying? I'm not working no 9 to 5 and I'm doing none of that. Right now, like the family is taking care of the household. My brothers, they doing the work. They taking care of the other stuff, the bills and everything. We have a system where we overstand it. Like even my brother had asked me. I told him, don't ask me. Like he asked me for $180 for a phone. I said, yo, this is not my money. Like I explained this shit to y'all last time. I said, don't do what you did last time. Keep this shit moving so that y'all can take care of the overhead. And they've been doing that. And he came to me 3 days later. He had a phone. Yo, I said, that's a new phone, ain't it? He said, yeah. I said, well, then you didn't need me. You did like, yo, keep pushing like that. Because as long as they can see that I'm making these motions and making these moves, and the family itself can see it, then it can be expressed easier for me. I won't have to worry about even having to stop it or none of that. I don't want to do that. So when I'm saying this like that, yo, just tap in. Just tap in. Like, you know what I'm saying? It could be $1, that's cool. But I'm up in the States with that so that more of you can tap in. I'm gonna send all of the 5 books. And the thing about it, and I'm gonna land with this. When we say you are like, all right, I like this book. I really do like how it flows. I like how it expresses. I like how it's like fluid. This book is like water. A lot of these books are coming in the form of a question too. We say, who knows the secrets? How to fight COVID and win, which is more of a statement. But you have the why, and you have the who knows the secrets. So it's all of these books are explaining things, or did Jesus really die for your sins, through questions. It's in the questions. Even when you say who knows the secrets, the answer is there. Who is Hua, which is God, which is El, which is all things. All things do know. You may not know consciously all things, but all things do know, which means that, indirectly you still have the knowledge of those things. So I would like for everybody to take a quick second to click that link, type in a number. It could be your favorite number. Whatever number you want to type in, it's cool. This is the last time we're going to do the reset. Type in any number. Send a donation to the Cash App. Play for Change Cash App. It's in the hashtag name what I'm doing, right? The Play for Change Cash App. Send a donation. Put your email there and receive these books. And we keep pushing. We're gonna go. We're gonna keep going. We're gonna keep going, doing more rooms. I'm gonna be reading the Leviathan 666 book by Malachi York, which is explaining what's going on right now, even down to the war. We're gonna break down more things. You can look out if you want to follow my Instagram for more of my content of what I'm talking about. Even especially like the little Bible skits and stuff like that, you got to really look at what I'm doing. It gets real deep. So people are seeing it. We're growing. We had 24,000 followers on Instagram. It's gonna get up there, y'all. One day it's gonna be major. It ain't even gonna be like on some, you know what I'm saying? Like y'all are gonna be able to see what I'm able to do with the donations and things like that. And then you're gonna have something that you can say, okay, he did this already. So when we need this to do this, you know what I'm saying? The same way Honorable does a Million Man March to get the 10 million or $1 million. You're gonna be able to track that though. You're gonna be able to see what we're doing with it. It's watch what I'm saying. It's gonna be a while. It's gonna take some time, but it's gonna be a consistent walk. That's why I'm not stressing it. We take it step by step.
I want to do like Blue Pill did. I think it was last year, or yeah, last year when I first met both y'all in the app. I got 55-55 for Phase Up right now. I want to encourage everybody to match what I'm going to do right now. So, but this wasn't planned. I just was messing around my phone. It's cold here in LA, so I decided I'm not going to go outside tonight. I decided to come on the app. So this wasn't pre-planned. This isn't a setup. This isn't a gimmick. I just showed up for Phase, and then Blue Pill just came in. But I remember Blue Pill did this last year, and I'm going to do it right now. So I got $55.55 for Phase right now. I challenge or encourage everybody to match that. Thanks for the books, Phase.
Thank you. I appreciate you. Tawu hat. We say Tawu hat. We say Tawa and Tuk in the Nuwapian language, the ancient Egyptian language. Tawa and Tuk. I really feel like that carries more of a it actually carries more of a genuine vibe instead of just saying thanks or thank you. The expression of gratitude comes through with Tawu hat or Tawa and Tuk or man Tawa and Tuk man or Tawu hat. It just expresses it's more genuine. I appreciate you. Everybody who's ringing in, I see y'all. I thank you. It's love. We got more coming. This ain't the end. This ain't like no hit and run. No, this this is not the end. You can expect more books. I said that from the first book. I think the first book was why. You can expect more books. Expect more rooms now because I can do a room now. I wasn't allowed to. Like I don't know what that was, but they wasn't letting me do rooms. You know what I'm saying? But now I can do the rooms. You can expect more of that. And it's just love. So we can. I'm trying to see how we can. I don't know if we want to end it with a song or I'm trying to see how we want to ride this out. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate you, AJ, for sparking that out. Let me see. I'm trying to see if I got something that could be like a nice transition out. But if not, that's what it is. So really, if you really want to know what all this is about, like Brother Blue Pill spoke about, it's like we needed to be that Tupac is able to finish what he was doing. We needed to be able to be that Malachi is able to finish what he was doing. And it's like with a race, somebody carries a baton and somebody throws it. And you pick it up. So this person passes the baton, this person passes the baton, this person passes the baton, passes the baton. Like I want people to think in terms of that. If we think like that, it don't feel like, oh, you think somebody's trying to be the leader, like we need glory. Or no, I'm not even the master teacher. Like I am a master teacher, but I know master teacher who is like undoubtedly the master teacher is Malachi York. And I know a lot of other master teachers, but I know I put the article there to specify that I have not seen heard anyone in history ever reach this type of vast awareness. So everything I saw him do, I wanted to continue because I saw, like, look at how it affected me. Like I was the children then, and now I'm older. I won't say grown, but I'm older now. And it's very clear what he was doing. It's very clear to myself. If it's not clear to people who don't want to see, no, it's very clear to me that was important. My whole life was important. So now everything that I do, every decision that I make that decision on such a strong foundation that no one can tell me that this is an error. No one can tell me that, you know what I'm saying, that I'm not in control of all of the things that I do. I'm not in control of how this realm works, especially on the grand scale. I saw one person affect the entire world. It's possible. So I want to keep it going. I want to make sure that the generations who come out after us, when I leave, have something on that caliber or higher. You know what I'm saying? That allows for them to have a even more firm foundation. That nothing can no whatever wind will blow, it won't cause them to stagger. Like, you know what I'm saying? If you can understand that, we need to look out for them. The music industry, they already falling. Trust me, I got their ass handled. Like, you know, I've been slapping their ass out. Like, I'm talking about day in, day out. I've been handling the music industry. They can try to act this, act that. Man, them niggas can't even drop music without collaborating now. Like, I've been handling them. They have little to no power. This is the time where you supposed to rejoice. And I'm not done with them. I just hit their ass with a spell 2 days ago. I'm not finished with the music industry. Do not be surprised when the rest of these events happen with the music industry, right? Because now that's where the people are looking. That's where the children are looking. That's where their energy is going. And I have to know that I may not be able to get masses of people to just stop looking in that direction, but if I can completely obliterate what's in that direction and then the other light is able to be shown, and y'all who are in that light can also step up and that light becomes the bright light that people are looking toward. It was the same science that the music industry devils, that you would call them, or these beings as you call them, or these witches or wizards as you would call them, who have this ability to tap into the same energy that we can, except they used it for this. We'll be able to use it over here, right? And not to manipulate as far as negatively, but to show people, yo, we can take ourselves back from them. We can take ourselves back from this westernized societal image of who we are. We can take everything that is who we are back. And it needs to happen. Don't let people convince you that that's not a war still. It needs to happen. We shouldn't be the only people who don't know what the hell we even doing here. Like, you know what I'm saying? We should get it established again. If you are in this field and you understand what I'm saying, just walk with me. That's all it is. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, cool, let's keep walking. You can DM me. You know what I'm saying? If you have ideas or questions of things that you want me to write books on, you can let me know that. I'm willing to do that. I've been doing stuff like that. I'll put the types of questions in the book and I'll answer it. And just always remember this is an event. Phase 1 is an event. Don't take it for nothing less. Don't take it for nothing more. Acknowledge it. I'm happening, and then after I happen, that will be all that it is. Like when Pac was gone, Pac was gone. You know what I'm saying? That was it. You can speak about his legacy, you can talk about him, you can hate him, you can love him. But what we did is that was an event. You know what I'm saying? That's all that this is. And as this event plays out, you just choose to be a part of it however you want to be a part of it. And then, you remember that you're an event too in your family's lives and people's lives. Like, this is real. Don't take you existing for granted. I love you. You are the light. All right. So there we go. Did any Blue? Did you good? Or did you want to land anything, or are we out of here?
You said it perfect. All right. And on that note, peace, love, and light.
Peace, love, and light, y'all. Talk that.
Peace.
I thank y'all. I was still trying to see if there was one of these songs that I could pull, but I don't even know how it's gonna come through on my headphones. But nah, I'll just say I appreciate y'all. I thank you. I thank all of you. And I'm not gonna stop. I am not going to stop. I don't know all of how this plays out. I don't know how to do everything that I'm seeing needs to be done. I don't know all of these things yet. All I know is we got a damn good start at a lot of shit. Like, we got a damn good start at a lot of things. For me to be 23, I'm already looking 7 years ahead. Like, oh nah, by the time I'm 30, this shit gonna be on and popping. Like, it's gotta be. It has to be. There's no way around it. I can't even allow myself for it to even fathom it not being that. That's how far I'm thinking, and even beyond that. I'm thinking way beyond that, but I'm like, okay, cool. By the time I'm 30, this shit would have flipped. We would have flipped some shit. We would have flipped this whole shit around. We already making the changes. You know what I'm saying? These people nervous. They don't know what the hell I'm gonna say. They don't know what the hell I'm gonna do. The industry is watching. The people that are fans, they may not know who I am yet. But every time people get wind of me, they like, yo, why didn't we know you was out here? You understand? Once they catch it, I'm telling you, I even tell it to the women. I'm speaking to the women. I say, yo, we gonna have our matriarch back. Don't worry about that. These niggas may not want to get in position. They may not want to acknowledge the power that y'all have. But I'm telling you, watch what same thing I told my Umi. I said, I'm gonna snatch it from these, I'm gonna snatch it straight from them. Let them niggas tell me no. Let them niggas tell me that I gotta act like a lady. Let these niggas try to play me. Let these niggas try to talk over my energy. Because y'all are reserving y'all's because y'all. No, watch what I'm telling you. I'm going to war about it, and we will snatch it back because I know who need to be in position in this day and time. I know who it boiled down to. We don't know what the hell we doing. We just watch what I'm telling you. Because when it comes down to it, we're gonna need to yield and build a new nation, and we cannot do that as men. It's gonna take the woman. It's gonna take y'all. They ain't gonna want to give it to you. So all I'm saying is, watch what I'm telling you. They know me. They know I'm out here. I'm shaking stuff up that you wouldn't even probably imagine were possible for somebody who wasn't even on no major famous level. Man, these people know who I am. They see it. They see it happening. It's happening on multiple fronts. The government see it. The rappers and industry artists and the musicians see it. And they're confused because it's an anomaly of an event. Now, if you were speaking in terms of the computer, that's talking about stuff that what like you couldn't even see this algorithmically, you couldn't see that coming. That was a glitch, as you would say in the Matrix. I am a glitch, but it's still happening. There's nothing they can do about it. What can you do, right? Like this person doesn't care about the money that you glorify. This person doesn't care about the sex that you glorify. This person doesn't care about the drugs that you glorify. I don't care nothing about. I don't want to be friends with nobody in the industry. I don't want no features with nobody. I don't give a fuck who don't like what I have to say. And I'm a warrior. And I've always been a warrior. It's the same energy, the same. I've always been this way. I don't care who don't have like what can y'all do? Because if you are standing in the way of what I know needs to be done, then you have announced yourself as opposition. And opposition gets handled. We handle opposition. I don't care. These people say, yo, because it was a video that went viral. A video of me that went viral when I was speaking out of and talking about the killing music. And I was telling people this was and look, what's so interesting, this is the second time that this done happened. Last time it happened, it was on YouTube where it had like 1.4 million views. It was called 16-Year-Old Mason Teaches Class Hidden Knowledge. Right? It was up there right with KRS-One video. Okay, a lot of people were watching that before they ever met me. They didn't know that they had already seen me before. And then I posted a little snippet on it a little while ago. They was like, "Yo, that was you." I said, "Yeah, that was me." But that video went viral out of nowhere because one of my folks had posted that on their YouTube page from school in 2014. By the year 2017, it just went viral out of nowhere. It had no views, and then boom, it just blew up. And I don't know who the hell posted it, how it happened like that, but that shit it was everywhere. Right? This is the second time that it happened this way, and people are having a conversation about some shit that I said in 2019. You know what I'm saying? Like, one of the people's like, yo, it's too late. Yo, it's too late for all that now. No, this is an old video. So it's like, you're late. Like, this was when y'all was saying that y'all was so tired of people. This was when Nipsey Hussle got killed. And everybody was all over the world saying, man, we got to stop doing this to ourselves. We keep killing each other. And I told the artist, I said, if y'all really feel that way, because it was artists who was trying to play like that. I said, if y'all really feel that way, then boycott the murder music. Boycott the music that's going to glorify that y'all are killing each other. And everybody walked around with crickets playing. Act like they ain't hear me say shit. Well, now you had to hear me because I know you saw that video. I know these niggas saw that shit. They're like, who the fuck is this nigga? How does this keep happening? How does he keep injecting into the matrix and he ain't even famous? How does that happen? How does he have a mass effect on this computer program without even being the main program? Because if you were able to really look at the trajectory, you're going to see that one day I will be. And because I am the main program and I represent an event, then that means that consciousness as we know it that needs to be scientific for us will return. It's destiny. Fate, if you might want to say that. Or inevitable, Neo. That's how this shit works. So, I'm watching all of it. They can see that it's happening. They say, okay, cool, this person keep popping up. And I'm watching too. I'm paying attention because I ain't gonna say too much. I'm just watching because I'm reaching out to certain people. I'm looking at it. Okay, so we're gonna see. Because if they got the position, if they got the platform, and they say they with us, then they have to help me or they gotta go. They gotta help me. Like what you know, then you're not needed because this is way too major to not happen. So if you would be standing there and holding up space, as Blue was saying, then you have to go. Like, you got to get up out the way. Because we don't need any people. We don't need people who are being looked up as leaders in the spiritual community who ain't gonna make some shit move. And we don't need it happen in the industry or the celebrity community who are the spiritual community. They got some celebrities too. We don't need none of them. All of them got to go. I'm talking about we clearing the whole plate this year. All of them got to go. And they think it's a game because, again, you can never figure phase one out because phase one is coming from the alchemy. He's coming from the all. I can morph. I'm water, like Bruce Lee was speaking about. If I need to go into warlock mode, I'm not going to just talk about, yo, I'm going to put a spell. No, nigga, I really do this. Like, we really do play with the energies. We really do send them. We really do wrecking ball shit. And it's very clear. When I said that this was going to happen, it happened exactly as I said it was going to happen. And nobody can tell me it didn't because what are you talking about? Go pick their industry up. Pick y'all industry up. It happened exactly as I said it was going to happen. And we're not finished. You understand? So that's where we at with it. You know, that's the book. You are the true light, or you are the light, all right? Another thing, you can YouTube this. Go Dr. York True Light Tapes. Okay? If you just type in Dr. York, let me see what comes up. Dr. York True Light Tapes. So it's not like you just got, and I put some links in there too in my book that send you the documentaries, send you the teachings, you know what I'm saying? So you get more references too. And I like how this shit is moving because it's not like I just got to reference it and you got to go remember that I said it's a reference. No, you always got the link there, you know what I'm saying? So that you can, go back and look into to the actual link. But if you go into the True Light tapes by Malachi York, you'll be able to see, oh, my keyboard ain't working. You'll be able to see where he got different teachings that are speaking about some of the stuff that I'm speaking about. And I'm telling y'all, he breaks it down like much farther than I do. And he's just the master. You know what I'm saying? Like, I learned from him and I'm getting the information to y'all because a lot of people, they, even if I mention him, people just seem to think that that's just some shit that I'm talking about, like Marcus Garvey or some shit. No, that's not it. This ain't that. This is not none of that. Like, this ain't no Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. This is not a comparison. This is something that happened not too long ago. This is an event that is still happening in Malachi York, and people need to know about it. But even knowing that people aren't going to take, always take the responsibility or go ahead and take the liberty of going into looking into who he is, I bring that information through my books. I bring the ideas through my books, and also the sciences that I figured out, I put in my books as well. You understand? So let me see. Okay, it's working now. True Light tapes. Dr. York. He was Imam Isa, I believe, at this time. That's when he was going through Islam. Okay, yeah. So yeah, you got different teachings by him. So you'll see as soon as you type in True Light Takes Dr. York, you're gonna see, and they got like a list of things. The prophets or apostle, who is Hui, Yahuwah, and Jehovah. He break down a lot of things. It's a lot of them that's gonna come up. You're gonna see Fall of Satan. Uh, Dr. Malachi York talks about music and tones. Uh, Y'all gonna see what I'm saying. Dr. Malachi York, angelic descendants on earth. Why use the book of the New Testament? The 1,000-year rapture. Slave trade. Is there a curse on blacks? What this sound like, y'all? The Clubhouse hallways. I'm telling y'all. Like, these niggas be funny. Is there a curse on blacks? The Walking Dead. What is the resurrection? Who and what are you? By which books are you saved? Law and marriage. The crucifixion of David. Jesus, the Messiah in truth. Are you of the seraphim or the cherubim? The murderers, the 1,000-year rapture. I swear by the time. Was Jesus Emmanuel? Where is your faith? Fall of Satan. Does the pale man have a soul? To hate is to sin. Know your language. What laws did Yeshua follow? Is Allah's name Jehovah? Are Puerto Ricans Muslims? Gog and Magog? Is Allah a man or not? The Hadith, the final calling. Let's trap the devil. I'm a Wichita Moore. The New World Order. Come on now, like, this is the master. Like, this is just stuff that all of these are like hour-long videos, like, of him breaking these things down. And he got even more books on all of these things. Al-Islam, the true way of life, Deen Allah, Muslim according to Quran, many faces of Jesus Christ. These are the religious things that he's breaking down too. Sayyid Imam Isa al-Hadi al-Mahdi, the Judgment Day. He speaks about what is man's purpose. Was Jesus really crucified? Sound familiar? Did Jesus Christ really die for your sin? Where y'all think I be getting this shit from? So, like, if you don't want to go to Malachi, I'm here, but it's like I'm still sending you to Malachi. So it's like it should tell you something. Why would I still send you to him? You know what I'm saying? The same reason why people wouldn't send you to him. The reason why they won't send you to him is because they're only trying to capitalize off his information. That's all they've been trying to do. They built entire careers off of his information. But if they send you to him, where the shit is like literally on the web, 100% just available, the same way I've been telling people go look into his teachings, then they lose their career. Because you say, damn, these people are posing as if they're the one. But then this one got all of this shit on lock. Not one side. He gonna speak about everything. Which Jesus do you follow? Life is in the blood. Does the devil have children? Negro, this is your 400-year bondage. That's one of the teaching. Negro, this is your 400-year bondage. Like he was telling people, like, yo, 400 years wasn't 400 years ago. You're in it. This was before 2019. You're in that bondage. He got one called Little Green Men. These are teachings on the web. If you just type in True Light Tapes of Dr. York, it's going to bring you to all of these. The truth about Noah, the Ark of Noah in Africa, the Egyptian deity Amun-Ra in the Bible, God incarnates every 25,000 years, the truth about the devil in Genesis, dinosaurs and evolution. That was a real good one because one of these folks tried to try him, like they tried to come with questions and he completely tore his ass apart. There is no time span. What are human beings? These are all of the conversations that, like, is God mortal or spirit? These are, I'm telling y'all, that's why I be telling y'all, like, the Clubhouse rooms, they really be Malachi York teachings. Y'all think I just be talking. Like, the Clubhouse room titles be his shit. And not saying that, oh, they stole it. Like, I'm saying, like, the Clubhouse room titles be Malachi York. They don't want to admit it, but that's him. He was writing the books like that. He would write a book how I write my books. I learned from Pops. I write my books in the form of a question. It incites old people. What is he talking about here? How to fight COVID and win. Who knows the secrets? Did Jesus really die for us? I get that format from Malachi York. And then the ability to break it down is what was passed on to me. It ain't some doctrine that you just read and it's like, oh, I'm just going to repeat this. Hell no. He never wanted people to do that. He wanted people to go check it out, and he wanted you to expand or expound upon the information. This is contrary to what people are trying to tell y'all is going on. Like we had some leader who wanted us to follow him. That's because they was on the outside. They did not know what was going on. These people were on the outskirts. These were the Kaffir or the ones who we, I guess they wouldn't even be the Kaffirs that you would speak about in Islam, but these were the people who were the outsiders, right? These were the foreigners. They did not know what was happening on the Holy Land. We called it Kadesh or Tamaray, the Holy Land. When you came onto the land, everything moved a certain way. He wasn't trying to create no followers. He was, is it very clear? Is it clear yet? Like all these people who just be talking, like when you listen to me speak, is it clear what he was doing? Is it clear yet? Because we come up like, who the fuck do y'all think y'all talking to? It was some Masons in the rooms who were trying to say, yo, you don't talk like a Mason. What? Let me quote the big Mason, Malachi York, Supreme Grand Master, the Grand Hierophant, and the Grand Potentate. Let me quote Supreme Grand Master Atum Ray, where he was saying, I don't need the bitching men. He said that out his mouth. So you tell me that the Supreme Grand Master ain't talking right because you a little guy on Clubhouse with a PTR of a Masonic emblem. Stop playing. We don't have to come in here and see, and like how Blue said, we knocked down fine China. We don't care what you had set up before we get. You didn't read our story. We flip over tables in the churches. We do not care about what you think you established because the spirit that's moving through us is the spirit of truth. And you can acknowledge that spirit of truth is there if you standing on truth. I go in these rooms. I don't go in these rooms to sling swords, but I got them. I don't go in the rooms to chop heads off. Right? The most vicious weapon that they got on Clubhouse is the ability to send somebody to the audience. I'm telling you, I faced it. That's the most that they can really do. They cannot stand the truth. Literally. They have to send me down. They cannot stand the truth. They cannot stand where you start. And you don't have to always try to tell somebody the truth. Like, oh, let me tell you something. No, ask a question. Pose questions and watch how they foundation crumble. Because all of what they're doing is, I got the truth, you got to listen to me. Yet the truth should stand the test. If you're coming from the truth, you should be able to answer it when that question comes up without you having to attack somebody, without you having to try to defame that person. So why you think they didn't like Malachi? Why you think they didn't like him? Because he made it uncomfortable for people. Why? Because when you were comfortable in the wrong state of mind, the wrong state of being. We're comfortable in the wrong state of mind, wrong state of being. This was generations ago. I can tell you a book to go look up right now, The Science of Creation. That book came out in 1976. Malachi York taught these scientists what they know right now that they trying to tell y'all like they figured it out. He taught them in 1976 where people were supposed to be either Pan-Africanists, Muslims, or Christians. There was no esoteric knowledge in America, period. Point blank. That was not here. You did not have the knowledge of the creation of the universe, or the Etherians, or the Riskians, and the rest of these races of extraterrestrial beings, the crystal translators, and how to translate them. The Nuwapian language wasn't being spoken, the ancient Egyptian language, none of that was happening. I'm telling y'all who the one is. I'm trying to put you on, putting you on game. I don't care what these people say. Because they can say what they want to say about Malachi York, but because I walked with him since I was born, they can't even stand against me. They can't even stand against me. And I'm 23 years old. What does that say? That says that we are doing away with the falsehood. We're doing away with the deception. It's fading away. The more we talk on apps like Clubhouse, the more the conversations got to change. You got other brothers moving through here. You got the Nuwapian nation, the Sabian nation. You got them brothers moving through here. Them brothers do not want to debate with, I'm telling y'all, they do not want to debate with the Sabians. People who debate, they do not want to debate with any student, a true student of Malachi York. You do not want to, that's not something that you really want to do. Because we don't even come to debate. We come to take debate away so that people are no longer hooked on this line that you're doing. We come snatch debate, throw it away. Okay, so what we getting at? Then I thought we was here to debate. No, we're not here to debate. Because anybody can use bait. We're here to awaken the people. So I'm going to show you why both sides of what you thought this debate was is incorrect. And I'm going to lead you to the center, which is that's where the truth always is. It's centered. Because that's the only way it could be always is if it was in the center. Think about a sphere, right? If you have a dot and that dot explodes in every direction and you were to calculate or to line up all of those points that spread out, then you would end up with a shape of a sphere. Okay, that would be taking a point on, I'm talking about quasi-particle level, right? You'll be taking that point and you will be stretching it out to a shape that will be third dimensional. You can do it on a flat surface with two-dimensional. But if you were to draw make a dot and draw a circle around it, right? You would see that if you were to turn that into a sphere or to a third dimensional object, it would be a sphere. That dot would still be in the center. And all of the lines of direction from that dot to the edge of that sphere or the circumference of that circle would be equal in length because that's always. So what is always? Perpetual motion? Yes. Meaning always going as far as time and location change. Okay? But always meaning all directions. Something to understand because there's nothing in this realm that's not accessible to you information-wise. You just have to know where to look. Right? But if you think you have nowhere to look and you think you already know where to look because right where you are spacing is all you can see, then you haven't turned about. So how do you expect a turnaround if you won't even turn around? You won't even turn around. Turn around. I'm telling you, it's right there behind you. No, it's within me. Okay. It's within you, but that car that's coming, like, yo, nigga, you need to turn around. Nigga, it's within. Okay. Yeah, boom. I guess that was within you too. It's like, nigga, we didn't just say that. We didn't just say within. We said within and without. We dealt with correspondence. Stop teaching one side to people. Within and without. Above and below. That's what Hecca was all about. Correspondence. You don't have one without the other, so why would you only want to learn one? Wake up. That's where we at with it. So I know this ain't been 6 hours, but I don't think I'm gonna go ahead and bring it to a close because I want to make sure that y'all can access the plays, the replays. I don't go back and listen to them either. I'm just letting y'all know that now. I kind of let it be out there so people can just go ahead and explore because we on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing, on to the next thing. The chain reactions have to keep going like that. We got to keep building. Y'all can share these replays to people, put people on, let people know, you know what I'm saying, how they can support. You walk with me. You tell people about me the same way you would tell, you know what I'm saying, people about your homeboy, your you know what I'm saying, or your friend or whatever, your brother who got talent. Just put people on and let people like, yo, something, he gonna do something. He gonna do something. He's already doing something, so I know he gonna do something. He already doing something. Right? And just watch how this play out. I'm one piece of it. I'm not saying I'm the only piece. I'm one piece. Other people are doing things that need to be done, and that's how it's supposed to be. It's not one person carries it. Just let whoever is supposed to do what they're supposed to do, let them do that, and help them, support them if you can. And in these cases, you really can, right? So I thank y'all for doing that because y'all have, and I want to make sure that if y'all do have any questions, that y'all can have them answered. So if you don't want to ask it right now, you can still DM me those questions on Instagram and I'll answer it. Other than that, that's the room. You are the light. All right. And we're gonna come back. Don't worry. They had me on a lock for a while, but we're gonna come back and we're gonna get back to it. And I know I have to do it this way. I gotta do more frequent rooms. And that's maybe one of the things that they wanted me to do anyway, to do more rooms because we gotta take this step by step. We must take it step by step. When you're talking about getting to $100,000, that's a big goal. It's not such a big goal when everybody comes together. So it's gonna have to be growing. So I don't think that this foundation is here for no reason. You know, even with the 10,000 follow, all this other stuff, everything's happening for a reason. So it's being expressed. So I say watch by the time May get here. Just see how many changes would have happened everywhere, and look for the further collapse of the music industry. And don't be surprised and don't cry for them. I'm telling you now, don't cry for them. Know that it was coming, and that all of these things must come. They got to be out the way. We need them out of the way. And if they've been listening, which I know they've been watching, then when they switch their energy and their frequency, then we'll let them stay. But other than that, they got to go. We don't need them. They're holding up space. They're holding up energy, and they siphoning from the people. And we need our people to be back in focus. We need them to be back in the center. We need them to be center. And I'm telling you, I can reach my people because I know all of our tones. I know how to relate to all of our walks of life, even the streets in the hood. I'm from them places. So it's like, nah, nobody can tell me that they don't want to listen. Y'all just didn't know how to talk to them because they listen to me. So many niggas I know niggas who done switched over and just went E5. Like literally just as simple as they went E5. And I was applauding them like, yo, nigga, at least you stepping from just the gang life. Not saying that there's something wrong with being in a gang. Not what I'm trying to say. I'm saying the gang life. And if you understand, you understand. I mean, at least you're not just on that. Like you went into E5. Okay, cool. I see where you went to. You went with everybody else, but you still activated something. And now you're getting more spiritually in tune. And they talking to you about your ancestors. And they speaking to you about your ability to tune in and all this other stuff. Okay, cool. I would rather it be that. Some people done got on the spiritual. Some people got more into their religion just from speaking to me. So it's like all they ever wanted was you, first of all, to care enough to speak to them. And second of all, and maybe the most important, to care enough to be able to communicate with them in ways that they can also comprehend or they can also understand. You know what I mean? And it's not saying that it's gonna always be easy like that. Like just because you talk to them, they gonna immediately listen. No. I had to be around a lot of people for a long time. But I realized that the higher my platform was going, and the more people was able to see like numbers associated with the name Phase One, it's like the people who weren't listening, they started to listen more. So that's like, bro, that's like simple science. We can get our people back in control. And sometimes it's like not always how we think it is. You might think that you gotta, take this route and take that route, or you might think that, oh, you only come out with the conscious music. No, it is all of it's supposed to be conscious music. We shouldn't just classify conscious music to be able to speak about the third eye. All of it should be conscious music because that extends beyond woke or awake. You're talking about awareness. And if you're aware in this day and time that the people speak a certain way, they relate to each other a certain way, they're going to receive information a certain way, then you should know how to communicate with them. If you don't know how to communicate with them, then all you're doing is doing what the other religious groups have done, which is preach to the choir. You have to get outside. You have to go amongst the people, and you have to figure out what it is that they're talking. Like when people say responding to me, which is what I brought up earlier with the video that went viral. They saying stuff like, yo, you so what you saying, art is expression. So are you saying art is imitating the streets or the streets imitating art? Because, this is their music and they should be able to express what they going through. It's like they don't even know who the fuck they talking to. Like, nigga, no the fuck they don't. I'm from them environments. That's not all we know. Like you can't use that. You will be able to use that with somebody who's from the suburbs who trying to figure out why do y'all just keep rapping about killing each other? Nigga, I'm from here. We do that shit because niggas trying to make them some money. I got DMs from niggas who said that. Niggas is doing that because they just trying to make the money. They telling me that they gonna get on the path one day, but they just doing it because it sells. And I'm not making this up. Niggas who big and said that shit to me. pled their case. And you got these elders and all these other people talking about, so, let them do their music, man. Music is just expression. Like, yo, can you do a favor and remember the fact that you're responding to a conversation that was brought to the forefront by a 23-year-old? That if I ain't say shit, we wouldn't even be talking about this. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, can you do me a favor and remember that first before we even dialogue? That you will be somewhere completely content with what's going on right now, as long as you got something to feed your face with and some money in your pocket, that you don't give a fuck what people going through for real. Unless it's trendy to give a fuck. Like if the police kill us, then you give a fuck. But if you see shit on the news, you can see 7 people died tonight on the news. And you be like, damn, that's crazy. What else is on? Nobody gonna hit the streets. Don't tell me nothing about music, especially not just about the music. You don't know what you're talking about. Then you have another person talking about, oh, so what you saying? If somebody say jump off a bridge, you gonna jump off a bridge? It's like what you gonna listen to. It don't matter about what they rapping about. What you gonna do? I'm like, nigga, it's not about the fucking song by itself. It's about the representation. Like we want to be these rappers. They don't know. They're not understanding where we're coming from. We're looking at them the same way people was looking at Malcolm and Martin. Like we're looking at them as those are the representatives of our generations. This how you get the power? Okay, if that's how you get the power, then you know what I'm saying, then we need to do the same shit. Okay, niggas is rapping about murdering each other, then that's how we get on? Okay, well then that's how we gonna get on. But the only thing that they missing is when you start buffing up in that energy, that shit come with shit. It comes with shit. Like, okay, my brothers didn't want to get them no guns until they start listening to YoungBoy. Like, not making this up. My brothers, they was young, of course. I had already been a gunslinger. My brothers ain't want to get no guns until they start listening to people like YoungBoy. And then when they start listening to people like YoungBoy, now I'm the observer. They didn't understand that I can literally see that their mannerisms, how they were walking, how they were talking, even down to how they wanted their hair, was YoungBoy. It wasn't who they are. It's like it's an image that's literally, it could be completely fake. You don't know. It could be 100% facade. That nigga could be the most intelligent person you ever met. How I know? Because I can play that part if I wanted to. I could do some shit like that. Why? Because I'm intelligent. We don't know if this nigga really lived none of that shit. But because so many niggas was like, that's how he got the women, that's how he got the power, that's how he got the money, that's how he got the respect. They want to win too. Then they looking at it as this is how I need to be. Except it puts you in a mentality of you got ops every motherfucking where. That's why 13-year-olds was going to the store. They people don't know what they be talking about. That's why they be like, what the hell? Like, stop talking to me. That's why I speak to people like that. They can call it arrogant if they want to, but please shut the fuck up. Because you don't know what you're talking about. This is affecting my people. This is affecting my generation. I saw so many 13, 12, 11-year-olds, 10 in Atlanta going to go get a bulletproof vest. And the stores ain't no better because they knew that that shit was hot on the market. But why is niggas walking around with bulletproof vests that ain't even bulletproof vests? They wasn't bulletproof vests for real. They was just the little plastic covering shit. But niggas is walking around with that. Then niggas was in the hood with the guns. Then they talking about all this op shit. Now you dealing with ops. How YoungBoy told you to deal with the ops, and then what YoungBoy say? I made the music that them youngest go and kill to. And everybody say, oh, he can say that. It's just a song. Please shut the fuck up. Like that means you are opposition. If you can't see exactly what I just broke down, string for string, tick for tack, what I just said is 100% true, not because I feel like this, but literally the nigga said it out of his mouth to clear up that that is exactly what is happening. You still gonna say that it's just music and this ain't just music. That let me know that you ain't talking to nobody who from my generation for real. You don't give a fuck what we doing. Unless you're trying to tell us to pull our pants up, like that's some shit that really it really fucking matters. Out of all the shit that you could talk about, you complaining about niggas pants sagging. Like who do you think you dealing with? I'm gonna let them people know that you don't care about them, cause that wouldn't be the only thing you focused on. And then anytime they try to talk about what's going on in their communities, you trying to tell them niggas just get a job. The fuck are you saying? These people
Faith,
are in a, go ahead.
my bad. I know you on a roll. Man, you saying so many things, and I wanted to say first, as far as like with the people these um who've initiated these companies and so on, and we already know who those people are, but they created a lot of stuff that is when we talking about the science, the how to manipulate the mind. So we use 100% of our brain in order to we use 100% of our brain in order to actually listen to music, and then we use 90% of our subconscious mind. So that's seeping into our subconscious mind, and we use 10% of our consciousness, which is allowing us to go day by day doing things subconsciously, without even recognizing it. Like you said, they shifted, your brother shifted their whole energy, everything shifted, and they were so not conscious about it. And the reason why, what I really want to say to y'all is, don't be afraid of your esoteric self. That's what they've used to play us time and time and time and time again. This, Illuminati, this Freemason, this, that. The Kemetic people, they were the first Masons, okay? They were the first ones. All of this stuff, Illuminati, all that BS, these are ways to keep people in fear. They want you to be afraid so that you stay in their system and you're constantly relying on what they're telling you. And 9 times out of 10, what they're telling you is what they learned from us in the first place. So everything you're saying is accurate, and I want to say this, y'all. Be super conscious of what you are listening to all of the time. If you find yourself listening to 2, 3, 4 trap songs a day, you got to reevaluate, because you're allowing your whole molecular structure, your body, everything, you're lowering your frequency, and you're not conscious about it. But your body is so intelligent, your mind, your spirit, your soul knows, and it's like, wait a minute, all right, well, if this is what's going on, then I guess I'm going to have to operate at this frequency, because that's what the sub is telling me to do. No, you have to master your mind. Don't let your mind master you. And then if you listen to certain frequencies before you're going to sleep, when you're waking up, you will start to see how, if you're in a low place right now and you feel like your mind and your body is like you're just in shambles, listen to some harps, listen to some chimes, listen to some tincture bells, listen to some sound bowls, listen to it consistently, and watch how you shift consciously and subconsciously, to the point where you start manifesting a life that you only dreamed of before, and you couldn't understand why you're doing everything in your power to get there, but you couldn't get there because you weren't prepared. But you're preparing yourself. You're allowing the universe to give you everything that you need and desire when you open up those chakras. And you can only open them chakras up with alignment of sound. Otherwise, you're going to be in that real dark, low energy. Like even Kanye said it. He said it, and I'm so glad he finally came out and said, hey, that 808 on top of the words, it's one thing to have 808s and then to have terrible messages behind it. But all those words and all of these things being said, and it's seeping into you. That will take you in a dark place. Look at that Travis Scott shit. Come on, y'all. Y'all know what's going on. Stay up. Keep your energy high. Continue to stay in the high vibration. So, because what each one teach one, each one of us, if we all get in this collectively, we start raising vibration and start telling our friends, our family, hey, listen to this. You feeling like this? Listen to this. Giving them, just dropping, planting seeds. You'll be surprised to see. You'll be surprised to see how much you can shift the energy on this planet overall. And I appreciate y'all, and it's mad love.
I appreciate you too. Can you hear me?
I hear you. Yep.
I know I'm getting the. Okay. They give me the red bar. Okay, cool. Yeah, I appreciate you too. That's the thing about it. Even people like Kanye, like we were supposed to be putting this stuff out. It was said that okay, one day you're gonna make the decision already that you're gonna choose between whether or not you wanted to start your own industry, as you would call it, or go in and bring the industry down from the inside. This is some things that we was expecting to happen, including people like Jay-Z. Like it was supposed to come out that way. We didn't know what he was gonna do, but we was expecting this to happen. That one day it was like, okay, you take this back because this is the main tool of the beast. As you were speaking about, I thought it was very powerful that you brought out that when you're listening to the music, you're receiving all of the frequencies. My brother would play a song, like they got a song that came out, it's called Hit or something like that. It's like him and Youngboy and the Baby, right? The song come on. He was trying to show me the song. I can't even make this up. He tried to show me the song. He pressed play on the song. I turned the shit off in 5 seconds. I ain't hear not one word before I turned that shit off. He like, damn, he said, you ain't let the song play. I said, nigga, you didn't hear that? He said, hear what? I said, yo, that song will put you, like, that song will push you over the edge of anxiety. And he like, I don't get what you're trying to say. I'm like, bro, like, listen to it. And he played it back. And he like, I don't get it. I said, you didn't hear the ringing? He said, oh, he said, now I hear it. I said, yeah. I said, that shit is subconscious. Like the way that that ringing goes up within the first 5 seconds of the song. Like Pops was able to do stuff like that on the other side of it. Pops got a song called I Hurt. So Dr. York, I Hurt, if you want an example of what we can do with these tones. So like it was like the song comes on, I was standing in the shadow when I saw you and him walk by. You know, he had the love songs going on. But when you hear that, when you go back and listen to that song, Dr. York, I Hurt, you're gonna hear this gradual, elegant rise of a ring, but it's not the pitch that this motherfucker used. Like the pitch that they use in that beat, I don't even know who made it, but I'm telling you, like, it's why I can't do their music. It's like, yo, I can't listen to this. Like I don't know, and the reason why I can't listen to it would be the same reason if is think about it like this: somebody who's not aware of their smell.
Ooh,
So yeah, someone who wouldn't be aware of their own smell. Like if they in the room and they've been trapped up all day and you walk in like, oh shit, like yo, yeah, you need to air this motherfucker out. Like they aren't aware of the frequencies that they're taking in because they've been taking in them frequencies all the time. So they become desensitized to it. But for me, it's I really feel and hear all of it. I'd be so confused as how they can play that in their headphones. But still so, I have to do the science of knowing, okay, this is the type of frequency that they would be on, then how can I like counteract these frequencies without trying to make niggas listen to boom bap rap? You know what I'm saying? Like that's not this they don't want to listen to that. That's not you're not gonna get through to
wait.
them on some like
No, sir.
on some Dreamville type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like it ain't gonna work. My bad, go ahead, Tim.
Yes, sir. They not gonna be able to feel that. You definitely gotta speak their language over what they feel. Like they like. But yeah, that what you were saying though just made me see, how you can get that flute and you can charm a snake, right? You can charm a snake with a flute. So what you're doing is you charming this lower beast with a flute with some music, right? Now we got two natures, dual natures. That's that lower nature and that's that higher nature. So if they using this music, what they doing is they conjuring up that and giving strength to that lower nature that we got. You know what I'm saying? And they keeping away the high frequencies, that piece to the doctor that he was building the music on in order, like you said, to counteract, you know what I mean, their act, you know what I'm saying? And take the spiral upwards instead of, how they got it going downward, feeding the energy of our lower nature, bro. And that's where all of this, hate is at, and it's this beast mentality. You know what I mean? And it put us on that level. We operating off our lower nature. So the Quran said, "Have you seen him who takes his lower nature as a god? But the higher self is the God, and that's the real war. We have to actually fight. You know what I mean? And that's the war against, like y'all speaking on. But the sister Lexa, you feel what I'm saying? I'm gonna drop the mic. Blessings. I appreciate y'all.
100%. Hey, look, I was even noticing too, revisiting the Quran. When you really get into it, it's like, yo, it's real repetitive. And I don't mean that disrespectfully. It's like they making sure they getting the point across, right? When you read it, they getting this point across that people have lost their way. They've been fooled. There were promises made that were made by opposition of people who wanted things to be in order, right? But if you were speaking in terms of the Quran, you would say Iblis and Allah, right? Like in the Quran chapter, I think it's 14 verse 22, or 14 verse 20. It might be 22. You go fact check me on that. But people are going to try to blame this devil for their shortcomings in the day of recompense, or on when they were supposed to be judged for what they were doing. They were going to try to blame Iblis for what they did, and he
Right.
was going to say, "No, you can't blame me. Like I didn't make you do anything. You chose to do
I
all
only
these things. I
called
only
you.
made you
I only
promises.
called you.
Yep,
You can't.
I only made you promises, and look what he also say. I wasn't the only person who made you promises. You just chose to take my
Facts.
offers. Allah also made offers to
Hmm.
you and you refused
Right.
it.
Right.
It's like you can look at it on a religious level and understand that, especially if you coming from a religious level. And you can also take it and look at it as look at all of the think about the way that the world is set up. How Jesus was talking to Peter and was like, yo, nigga, get behind me. He called him Satan. He referred to Peter as Satan. He referred to Peter as an opposition, a op. He said, yo, nigga, you get thee behind me, Satan. I know you not with my father ways. You don't love my father, you love the ways of the world. You with this you with how this world is ran, right? So look at all these things as being it's day in and day out, and nobody. I don't want to say nobody. I'm not, exempt from the temptations of this world either. So I can speak from it from personal experience. Like yo, there's plenty that can throw you off course, right? The what they say the gate to or what they say the gate to hell
I
is
mean,
wide and
narrow. The wide gate is hell, and the narrow gate
right
is heaven.
the narrow straight yeah the gate for yeah you get what I'm saying it's narrow so so it's like that's what it is it's so many things that and we all have the choice and it's not saying that it's going to be easy of course not because you're in the realm where you're in flesh you have to conquer your flesh so when they saying you took your flesh as God you thought that the six is where you I was in a room and I'm telling y'all these people had like the Baphomet pictures and it wasn't the other room that did it. It was a newer room that did it. So it's like the first room that I ever saw do it was House of Ancient Magic, but this other room I don't remember who they was, but they did it and they had like they pictures of the Baphomet and I was speaking to them about Hecka before it was Baphomet that wasn't our shit, you know what I'm saying? But they was trying to say like yo nah because I was talking about how WAP came in after the George Floyd movement of people waking up and saying, yo, we need to call out the music industry. That's where cancel culture came to life. I spewed cancel culture into the realm and people picked up on it and it became a living thing. Like people, but they next flipped it into some other shit. I'm not the reason why it came into this, whatever the hell it is now. I am the one who was saying, hold these people accountable for not using their platform to affect the change that they're telling you they with right? So when they got into it, after the George Floyd shit came, then the WAP shit came around. It's like literally right afterward, where everybody was supposed to be waking up. Then they got this sexual revolution shit happening. And then one of the people in the room, the moderator, was saying to me, why you trying to act like the root chakra is bad? I didn't say nothing about the root chakra being bad. I said we need the women to be in the crown right now. They even telling you what day and time it is when they saying the word corona. Like you should be able to read the realm. They're saying this is crown time. But even in the video, I'm trying to tell them niggas like, yo, in the video, in the end of the video, they got somebody dressing all red, walking on black and red checkerboard floors. There's a lady, and she got a crown of thorns on. I said, why you think she got a crown of thorns on? I said, I hope you don't think it's just like to accentuate the wardrobe. They're making a mockery of Christ's energy or the crown energy. That ain't bad or good. That just is what it is. Like, wake up. They say, oh, it's just about the root shock. I said, okay, so explain to me this. What do the two animals having sex in the room have to do with the women in her root chakra? She's not an animal. Like, they had shit like that popping off in the music video. You know what I'm saying? Like, so the person was telling me, no, we need to stay in our root chakra. Some people need to stay there. I was like, yo, I don't understand. This is why I'm snatching the spiritual community back from y'all. Like, y'all don't deserve it. You know, you don't know what you're doing. Like, why would you tell people they need to stay in the root if the whole thing was to be balanced? Just to make an argument to stand against what I'm saying? There's a time for everything. We understand that. So why would you say in the same breath that they need to stay somewhere if the time for everything would be speaking about the balance of the crown and the root? I don't know. I don't know who raised these people, but it's like that's what it's coming to. Arrogance. People have taken it like they love the lust. They love the tantric magic. They love all of that. You get to talking about that, everybody active. You start speaking about the anahata or the heart chakra on up, conversation get real short. You could tell who's amber light versus emerald light. Who's coming from that frequency that is where they are versus the frequency of the emerald, which is where the other beings are. You know what I'm saying? So it's like all of these things still are choices. Not saying evil or good. It's saying, yo, what are we supposed to be doing right now? If we need them women in the crown chakra, that's where they need to be. Why they keep liberating? They only celebrating everybody's sexual revolution. They're not talking about nothing that deals with the crown. You should pay attention to that. But
Can
whatever. It ain't on them to pay attention to. We got to do it.
can I mention one thing? A few other things, family. When it comes to that, so I'm a musician and I'm a sound healer as well, and I started learning the harp last year or the year before, and I my first melody I learned, it was just if I could really remember, it was so beautiful, and I started playing it, but then I started to sing with it. When I tell y'all, I couldn't even get through the song because I started to cry. I could because the that's the opening, the tap in of that angelic realm. Like I was so, it's when you're talking about alignment of instruments and chakras, the harp, the piano, and so on. Those are affiliated with your heart chakra. So it's like, you know how they say pulling at your heartstrings, literally. And that sound, it did something so amazing. It made me realize, I already know how powerful sound is, but it made me realize, like, wow, if this is doing this to me, I can't even get through this. I can only imagine if people knew, if they only knew, like right now, if I just instantly, you just, whoa, like your inner God awakens, like, whoa, what is that? Where did that come from? What is that feeling? Because that's where we belong. The roots, it's like do re mi fa sol la ti do. We work our way up. Exactly, phase. We're supposed to work our way up. We're not supposed to stay stagnated in that space, because all that's going to do is give us a repetition of BS over and over and over. Root. And that's where they are attempting to keep us, because they know once that kundalini rises, like you said, Tim, with the snake, and you can lure it, and like once that kundalini starts to go up and reach to the crown, it's a whole different shift of consciousness. And once we collectively do that, which we're headed there, the shift has already happened. It's happened. You got people like me, Faith, Tim, everybody I'm
You
sure
know,
who's in this room already knows what's up. So we are on and popping with it, and there's nothing that's going to stop us. The whole thing is, don't be. I'm saying this to y'all as I say it to myself. Do not be afraid, even if you have to speak truth and your voice is trembling. It's time to get out of that fear-based energy, which is, we're talking about dealing with the root chakra. You got to get out of that, because what's happening now, if we stay silent, if we do not sit here and be a voice for the youth, we're going to start seeing patterns of this thing happening over and over and over again. Like, damn, why is this happening? Why isn't this? Because we have to say something. We have to do something. We have to be willing to get out of our comfort zones so that we can literally save the world. So like, when you guys come on here talking like this, it activates something inside of me
oh,
that's like, man, this is necessary. And I'm
yes,
I'm
ma'am.
so happy that everybody in here is in here, and that we are speaking on these things, and this has to continue, because we're only going up, y'all. We're only going up.
Hmm. Hmm. I see people like y'all, you, Phase, and Lexa. I see y'all as activationists. Activationists. I don't know if somebody ever said that word before, but I see y'all as activationists. And y'all are the ones who ignite the lights. You know what I'm talking about? And that's what I call y'all. I call y'all little lights. You know what I mean? When I be bumping into y'all out there. Like you said, Phase, you got to be out there with the people. I've always been out there with the people in a capacity or another, but that's another story for another day. But y'all are the ones that come into the world now, conscious, open, you know what I mean, able to see reality. Our older generations weren't able to see the reality because they was under the spell of all them lies. You know what I'm talking about? So y'all coming in without all of that mystery and spookism in your head. You know what I mean? So y'all can see things more clearer, and that's why y'all have less fear than our people had, in the older days. But I'm glad y'all speaking on these things, because tonight I was writing. I'll be writing a lot of things. I'll be studying and whatnot. But I was writing. I wrote down this note because I was thinking about how we all from different religions, in terms of walks of life, Phase, and you're the only other person I heard speak on how there are different black walks of life besides me. And I know that we all have to move as one. And like you said, Lexa, is coming into that. We're coming into that consciousness, that collective consciousness. But I was just thinking, I've been thinking on, I always think on this. It's a song too that make me, that go with what I've been thinking about. I just ran into that tonight. And it's so funny that you said, Faye, that Pops made a song, and it was like a love with a, the kind of love vibe to it. I like that. But anyway, so I'm understanding that throughout all the religions, there's basic principles that is practiced, and they are in tune with our soul and our nature, and our nature just means like a cat is a cat wherever it's at, no matter where it is in the world, the same basic nature. And the soul that we have is the same basic soul. White folks don't have that. That's all. Make it clear what it is. But the balance and the where we meet at is in the principle of love. That's the highest frequency, right? And then there's truth, which is at that same frequency. And as far as, something that's tangible, peace is a noun that you can possess. You know what I mean? And I think that those three things are the base, of what we have to tune into, and I believe that we need to actually turn our love up for ourselves. We need to turn our love up for the God who created us. We need to do that turning up, and then we can put that music, that heart, in the music, and we can use it as therapy. We can do that because that's what the music really is meant for. It's God. It's a gift from God. But see, the jinn man took it and made it for perverted purposes. Use it for perverted purposes, like a lot of us are doing with our gifts. We perverting the gifts, the divine gifts that the God actually put in us to do His work with. Dumbass, you know what I'm saying? Knucklehead. But I don't talk to my ignorant brothers like this, because the Quran say to the ignorant, peace. That mean stay at your vibe of peace. You can't say nothing to them if you ain't at your vibe of peace. So stay at peace. And you can't do that unless you love them more than they hate themselves. So yeah, we gotta love ourselves more. Honorable Elijah Muhammad said we gotta love our people out of their condition. So we gotta turn our love up, yo. So you know what I mean? They be talking about Black Lives Matter, but okay, what Black Lives Matter is easy to say. But what matter more is black love matters more. Black love matters more than anything, because what love is something that does. And if you love somebody, you do something for them. You know what I'm talking about? So anybody can say Black Lives Matter. But what you doing though? What are you really doing? You know what I mean? So yeah, I appreciate you, FaZe, for standing up and wearing your crown and walking your path, bro, and going all out with it, bro, and for loving your people and yourself and Pops, which I didn't get the chance to know too well. I really haven't studied upon him too well, but one of my sister friends though, she riding with you with that. That's y'all in the same tribe, bro. So yeah, I love you. I love y'all. And man, I'm with y'all, you know what I'm saying? And I know y'all with me too, because we going in the same direction. And I love it. Praise to the most high.
Praise to the Most High. That's what it is. So I say peace on that. I'm walking around. I'm fired up. I'm thinking about how I'm finna. Okay, what I'm about to do with this dark book. I got to do the darkness book. I know I have to. I'm gonna do meditation on it because I know it's a lot of things that can still be explained. You know, when it comes to that, because all of it is going hand in hand. But I think there's going to be the follow, but I don't know for sure. But I do know that I'm already fired up about another book.
Mm,
I'm trying to see what type of video I'm gonna drop tomorrow. I jump back and forth between the comedy, you know what I'm saying, or I'll jump to drop a song or whatever. But it's to keep people engaged, and the algorithm has to work. We got to learn how algorithms work. The algorithm
mm,
has to work on such a level that even when they shadow ban me, I already knew how to. I knew how to get up out of the shadow. You know what I'm
mm,
saying? Like we got to make sure like we stay on top of these things. And I also know what not to talk about. And really, the stuff that people getting
mm,
shadow banned for is like, you know what I'm saying? Other than I know why I'm shadow banned. I'm shadow banned because I was talking about pops. I stayed on
mm,
Malachi York, and out of nowhere they talking about, yeah, we got to shadow ban you. Okay, cool. I'm okay with that because ain't no you never gonna change that. You can do whatever. Nothing's gonna change. I'm still gonna walk with pops until my last breath because that's family, and he would do it. So that's what it is. So where I'm at with it is even the stuff that people getting shadow banned for, man. Like I don't talk about none of that vaccine. I ain't know none of that wave because as I told people, keep paying attention. It's gonna fade away. They are now. They like you ain't barely even hearing about coronavirus no more. The effects of it, the psychological effects of it have already played out exactly as they expected them to, and that's what I was explaining to people that you're realizing more of a response to the idea of coronavirus than you are the effects of something actually taking people's life. And people didn't see it, but
mm,
now hopefully they can understand it. As we keep going on, there are nuclear threats on the U.S. I don't know if people are aware of it, but there are. It doesn't mean that it's going to happen. It just means that it can. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of the things where it's like, this is something that should be an eye opener for people. It should wake people up. Don't know if it will, but it should wake people up. That everything that we think we're doing. People have the ability in this realm to press a button and bring a cease to all of it. It should be every reason for you to take every day to figure out how you can impact this realm on what you would call a positive level. That within itself should be every reason, because there are things that can happen to literally shift everything that you thought was so, such a liberal realm for you, and something that was so free and all. No, these people are on the prowl for power. They're destructive, and we don't got to say who is they. You know who I'm talking about. These governments of people who've been running these things for ages. The ones who were families of the people who introduced the first world order. Like this, these people are on the prowl for power. They're gonna keep going. The thing is, they're not as powerful as we are. They're not even as powerful as we are when we decide to look at our power as something that we should utilize to perpetuate ourselves as far as future generations becoming successful in the sciences, successful in living, successful in thriving, right? No longer trying to figure out how they're going to make a living, but they live because you already have life. And life should tell you that you should try to make it. You already have that accessible to you. You understand? So I say peace on it. Shalom. You know what I'm saying? All of this is all praise to the Most High.
Hey,
Alhamdulillah.
hey,
We go ahead.
I'm sorry, bro. Before you spin off, I wanted to ask you two things. For one, what is the greeting in Nuwabian?
Is you got one. Okay, so you got Rahubat, right? So
Mm-hmm.
Rahub, A-R-H, as R-H-U, no, excuse me, R-A-H-U-B, A-A-T, Rahubat. And then you
Okay,
have Rahub, which is like more of like the slang of it, which is
got you.
like, what I'm saying, the
It
dialect of
sounds
it.
like it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it sound like it.
So you get it? So the AAT is plural. So we say, if I say towel, I'm saying thank. But if I put towel hat, I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying thanks. But if I say towel and took or towel attack, I'm saying thank, and took or attack would be you.
Mm-hmm.
And you would say attack a third, which means you are welcome. You're welcome, right?
Ataka Therafu.
Yep.
Ataka.
So if they say Tahu Hat, he said Taka Thurfu. And it becomes such second nature that when you speak it, it's like, hey, Rahu bad, hey, I shook, love.
Bad.
You know what I'm saying? That's where you get the Hotep from.
Bad.
Hotep was the
Hotel.
peace word. So
I
when you
just.
got Issa Rae talking about some Hotep niggas, see, we talking about
Yeah.
us. You know what I'm saying? Like, we was the ones, like, we were not Pan-Africanish. I don't know why she represented us that way. We're not
Yeah.
people who talking about some, saying my sister this, my sister
Hey.
that. We're not them
Hey.
people.
Phase. Hey. When I was just starting to walk my path, bro. When I was reading all those books, because you ain't know, I never told you that I had worked in a black-owned bookstore, St. Louis, Missouri, in the Union Station Mall. So I was exposed to three walls of black authors. I ain't tell you about that, but um, I came up on that understanding. Um, that kind of lost my track of thought, to be honest with you.
No, it's all good. It's still Hotep, still peace.
Oh yeah, Hotep. So I learned that. I learned that through all that I was reading. It was coming to me that Honorable Elijah Muhammad was trying to groom us so that we can get our foundation straight, so that we can begin to evolve back into that mind state and that spiritual state that we were in Kemet. You heard me?
That's what Pops was saying.
Oh,
That's what
really, really,
even when
really? See,
even when
nobody told me that. It's just something that came to me. Word.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah, 100%. So
Mm-hmm.
we would have teachers on the land on Tamaray, where
Mm-hmm.
people would say, and Tamaray means Egypt of the West, right?
Tamarin.
But when we would have people come to the land, they would say, they were talking. They said, "Yo, one of the brothers who from the Nation of Islam was saying, yo, I see that you are the continuation of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad's teachings. I bear witness to that." So they could see it. All of the nation could see it. Farrakhan could see it. Everybody could see it because he was the one that Honorable Elijah Muhammad would have had to see it too. Because when he came through, he took all of the steps that were necessary to be able to be called a successor if there were one. Yet Malachi was not only here to speak to or try to be a part of some nation of Islam. He was here to make sure that all of the people could have the information to create experiences that yield phase ones. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I would not be able
Mm-hmm.
to do what I'm able to
Feel
do
you.
if I became a member of the Nation of Islam, or if I
Feel you.
became a Hebrew Israelite, or if I became a Christian, or I became a
Feel you. Feel
Muslim,
you. Feel you.
yet I walked through all of those schools, so I
Mm-hmm.
am all of them. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? So
Amen.
now when I talk to them, it's like, oh, I know you. I know where you coming from. Yeah, who is okay? Okay, we can speak about Yahushua Salaki. I want to get in here and have this conversation with you. So, okay, oh, I know where you coming from. You know, okay, Bismillah Rahman Rahim. Let's get into the. Okay, we got the opener. We passed the Fatah. All right, let's talk about this. Okay, we go into the Bakara al Bakara. I want to talk about the Kaaba.
Mm-hmm.
We get in
Mm-hmm.
there. Okay, cool. I want to make sure that we got more
Mm-hmm.
Mukmineen. I'm with you. Oh, well, are you
Ah.
sure you with me? Are you with Allah? No. Did you hear what I said? You could test me with the Spirit if you even studied the Gospels. Test me with the Spirit. I'm telling you, I want more Mukminun. I'm not
Mm-hmm.
with the Mushrikin. So you can't even if I'm talking to you about Tahuti and the rest of them, and I'm telling you I'm not with the Mushrikin, then you know I'm not worshiping these people as some deities or idols, right? So then okay, I'll go over here with the Christians. Oh yeah, I'm with you. People even try to grill me in one of these rooms. I think it was yesterday or the day before that, and they was asking me questions. So what God are you with? Who are you with? I say, yo, I'm coming in the spirit of the Most High. I
Praise
have no
God.
problem saying that because it's the truth. It's the same thing that y'all are trying to say, except I understand what you actually trying to say.
I mean,
You feel me? So
I could,
that's
I
what he
could.
was doing. He was making it be that we could have like he had respect for all of the nations. He had respect for all of the organizations, the
I mean,
tribes. He just
mm-hmm.
wanted it to be that they had the truth about where they came from, tribe wise, their
Mm-hmm.
leaders and all of that, and
Mm-hmm.
that the truth could resound. He even made a book, he made a few books, but he
Mm-hmm.
wrote a book about John Muhammad and
Okay.
talking
Okay.
about what happened for real, and you
Okay.
know the whole get the shebang with the Fard Muhammad, the
Mm-hmm.
Detroit situation. He was breaking down all of that, but
Mm.
then he even came out because it caused a problem. But he came out and
Mm-hmm.
said, "Yo," he said, "Yo, look, I'm gonna tell y'all what y'all can go ahead and do. Take the
Mm.
book that I wrote about John Muhammad exposing all. Take that book and burn it." He said,
Mm.
"I'm not here to cause trouble or issues. It's just y'all
Mm-hmm.
step to me as if, you know what I'm saying, this wasn't that, or I was a fraud. So I exposed what was really going on. But I'm not here to be your enemy. I was just telling you, no, here's your real issue. Don't try to say I'm not this or I'm not that because then he had that same energy, like pretty much saying, yo, you step to me, you gonna get stepped on. But then he still told, he pick you back up, say, okay, cool, that's yourself off. All right, now go back over there. You can burn that book. I don't need the book. All I was doing was getting the information out.
Feel you.
So then they developed this respect for him.
Mm-hmm.
Farrakhan got a respect. All these people have a respect for Malachi, where it's like,
You
well, he
should.
ain't he
I
ain't
do too.
lying. He said he's speaking some truth. He ain't trying to he ain't coming at people. He even said it. He said they trying to turn me against my brother. He said they trying to turn me and Farrakhan against each other. He said I won't let it happen. This is, you can hear him saying these things with certain teachers. He's like, we're not gonna let that happen. And people say, yo, why you still got the honorable Muhammad? Why you got Marcus Garvey, the honorable Noble Drew Ali? Why you still got they pictures up? They would ask him on Savior's Day because he had a Savior's Day as well. It's,
Yeah.
hey, why you got his pictures? He said because anytime something happens with our so-called black leaders and they have to leave the realm, they leave the planet, or they be taken up. If you coming from the Quran, you know they don't die.
Say
According to the
something.
Quran, they taken up with subhanallah. Excuse me, they taken
Allah.
up with Allah. Right? And
Yes,
you know
sir.
what I'm
Yes,
saying
sir.
with this because that's what's written. That
Yes,
anyone who
sir.
is said to have died, they did not indeed die. And as long as you are
Eternal, baby.
coming, exactly. So he was saying, yo, anybody who leaves this realm, they try to make sure that before they go, that we find some reason to take their picture down. And he was saying, and this is why I be stepping to people like, because I'll bring up Malachi. They say, well, if you want to bring up Malachi, then just tell people to study Honorable Elijah Muhammad. I'm like, yo, if I would bring up Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you wouldn't tell people to study
Or
Malachi. He
they
had no
Noble Drew Ali.
disrespect.
Uh,
Right, he had no disrespect for exactly Noble Drew Ali, but he would mention these people. That's what people are missing. He would mention these
That's why
people,
I
the
honor
people
him.
who you see what I'm saying. He loved them people.
He get love where love is due. Out of all of these leaders, he done studied everybody and he ain't put nobody down and try to act like, well, I do honor them, but see, this is what they all do. They be like, I do honor them, but this is why my teachings are greater. He ain't do none of that.
Right, he would just let you know. Like he'll let you know. I remember what was said about when he came to Farrakhan. He was like, people saying this, that, and the third. He said, well, you have to understand. Farrakhan he's a lecturer. That's what he's going to do. He's going to lecture. He's going to preach. He's going to. He's not necessarily a teacher. because
Mm,
that's not what he's here to do. He said,
mm,
you know what I'm saying? Like he was explaining to the people, so you're gonna get what you need from Farrakhan because
mm,
that's what he's supposed to do. He said, and sometimes it just comes to the day and time that we in. He said people need a teacher, and that's why everybody was coming to him because they wanted to be taught. But they was still with Farrakhan, and they was still with the Moorish Science Temple of America. They was still, you know what I'm saying? People was still with whatever order they came from,
yeah.
but everybody was sit at the same. I was there though. I'm
Look,
not just saying this. Like I was on the land.
look,
Go ahead.
Mr. Farrakhan, he was. You right. He wasn't the teacher. Um, his teacher is what he always referred to as teacher. He don't refer to him as that. But he was the reminder, and the reminder to what? The reminder to consciousness, to wake the conscience up, the self-accusing spirit up. He is the reminder. That's how I always have referred to him. When I pray, you know what I mean? I pray for all of our prophets, all of our great ones. I pray for all of our freedom fighters. I pray for all, you know what I mean, who is fighting for our struggle for on behalf of all of us. You know what I mean? So, yeah, no respect of prophets, no respect of persons when it comes to all of the great ones who work for us. You know what I mean, on the Most High behalf. Yeah, that's all one. But
So that's what it is. And look, we still. That's why I tell people it's still going. We about to go ahead and bring this to
yeah,
a
no doubt
land,
we can chop it up
but
all
it's
night.
still going. You know, Pops ain't he not he's still here. You know what I'm saying? They try to talk about him like he gone and it's over. No, he's still here. He's still fighting. He's fighting the case. He's fighting every day to find some type of way to get more information to us. This is someone who's been in the fight since the jump. So it's like all I can say to land the point is y'all. They don't like. There's nothing you can tell me. I've seen it. I've seen it happen. I've seen where the successes are. I've seen how it works. I've seen what we can do, what we can become, who we are, what happens when you put us together under one roof and there's like this tranquility or this balance. I've seen it. It actually existed for me. I saw it. And the fact that I have an example in Malachi York. I have an example where even when they was trying, like when they was on the phone, when he was going through the first processing systems, right? He was on the phone, he was talking to one of the sisters, and he just explaining this. He wasn't doing like no R. Kelly was doing, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I'm saying, not trying to go off on R. Kelly, but I'm just telling y'all the example of he wasn't doing no crying. He wasn't talking some y'all gotta believe. And he was like, man, he was still teaching. He in the middle of the process, like he on the phone, he in a system, talking from a jail phone, and he's still teaching. Like, because he understands. He wasn't confused when they were trying to hit him with all this other stuff. They trying to threaten his family. He took rap for them. Like, yo, this is a soldier where it's like, oh nah, I saw who did this. I saw who went head on with the beast. So what you think I'm finna do? I'm finna crash out about it. I'm gonna crash out about it because I would rather like not be here. I would rather not be in this realm than to act like that's okay for us to just leave him there and walk away. You got the wrong one. That's why people be like, oh, don't. I be in certain rooms. I'll bring niggas' names up. I don't care. I will let you know who the. If I brought a brother polite name in one of these rooms. I said, but I will let you know that's infiltration.
Fuck.
I'll let you know counterintelligence pro didn't stop at no Malcolm X. I'll let you know that because I was there. I saw what happened.
Well, they know
I saw all of these things play
they
out.
know how to crush our spirit as far as our leaders concerned and all this stuff. I mean, when I see them go up and grab the Pope and take him down or whatever else or anything like that, then I'm gonna be like, okay. Cause it been, I mean, and then they come up with these allegations and all this, and then just kill our spirit as far as our people concerned, or add all
He
sorts
said
of
it.
confusion.
He
Exactly.
said
And
they was
this,
going. He said they was going. This is the thing. You had some of this stuff. You heard people on Instagram like little memes and stuff. Like they'll show you a screenshot or something like from back in the day, and they'll say you had to be there. Like that's really what this is. People who speak on pops, it's like I have the main question for a lot. Like nigga, was you there? You like they don't try everything to try to wrap it up. I was in one of these rooms. People like, yeah, man. So that's a cult. I said, no, you got to add them other three letters on there. That's what you talking about. I said URE. It's culture. This is a culture. Like you can try to think that you're saying something great by saying cult, but this is our culture from ancient Egypt. This is the actual revival of that. right? And he was saying, no, no, a cult is this, a religion is this. I said, okay, so what religion are the Nuwapians? He didn't have no answer for it. Then I did my best to walk him step by step. For the New Hebrew Islamics, I was talking to him about the Ansarullah, and he said, "See, that's Muslim." I said, "I ain't even finished." I said, I'm telling you different schools that he went through. What religion is that? The ability to go through different schools to not teach you that's something that you're supposed to just take on and just live by always. No, to learn from all of these things that you can communicate with each other if and when you come across people who coming from these different walks of life. What religion is that? I said, no, Pops came under truth. He came
I
with
mean,
the
that's the
truth.
religion of peace right there. That's what it is.
And look, you can go as far as to even say that, but that's not no cult, because you ain't finna say that, like, to even say that a religion is cult, you're not finna say that Muslims are in a cult. You wouldn't even, that don't even apply. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, Muslims are in a cult, Christians are in a cult. People don't even speak like that. But when it comes to Malachi breaking down all these religions, you try to say he was a cult. I'm gonna tell you what that means to me. It means you wasn't there. Like, you really think that we was like, come on, everybody who was there, we know what this was about. We're not confused. That's why I say he said it already. He said they're gonna say, I don't like that man. Let's make some lies up on him. Let's turn his people against him. Let's imprison him, and then let's kill him because his own people won't help him anyway. Like, that was verbatim what Pop said. We was not confused when this happened. He said this was gonna come. When he said he didn't need the bitching men, he said, I don't need the bitching men. He said, because one day the devil is gonna make up his mind to come after us. He said, I don't need men who are gonna break down the crowd like little girls. It's the reason why he said that though. Because the ones who were standing around him were agents. He spoke directly to the brother Polites. In that teaching, Dr. York, 1992. This was 1992, y'all. I wasn't even born yet. He talked directly to them. He was saying, you trying to say I'm looking over you, because one of the problems that Brother Polite was having was he wanted to be in the seat. He would even say that to the family. I'm Malachi, I'm Melchizedek. I'm supposed to be, I'm this, I'm that. Right? And Pops was telling him even then, he said, you said I'm looking over you, or I'm overlooking you. He said, you're right. I am standing here looking over you, and I can see everything you're doing. He said, you're not, he said, you think you're doing this. He said, you think you're doing that. You think that you're getting away with stuff. He said, you're not fooling the eye. Now, people wouldn't have known who he was talking about just watching that video. But everybody, I'm telling y'all how this go. We all know who people, like, we know who people are. When stuff hit the fan, they couldn't hide it. When shit hit the fan, they couldn't hide it. Did you hear me? When it hit the fan, they couldn't hide it. You got all, like, you're on documentation. The feds is at your house. Why is the FBI here? Why are the people, why are they trying to see about you? Why are they coming into the land asking questions about you? Why are you in these papers? The same way they trying to expose rappers and trying to show them like, yo, look, yo, why are these people, why are you fleeing? Why are you dipping out? Why are you running to Calabasas? What really happened? So you got a problem in phase one. You got a problem in him because I was there. I'm not one of them people who talking because I feel like Brother Polite. Man, I feel like young Pharaoh did. Man, nigga, Pharaoh didn't have nothing to do with this. He was nowhere near. Nobody knows where the hell he came from. It's a lot of these people. Sarnetta, you know you was supposed to stand up. You know you was. You know you wasn't never supposed to provide anybody a platform to ever say anything against Malachi York. And I've been watching this. And they think I'm some 23-year-old twiddling my fingers. No, man, please. When I get the platform, everyone will know the truth. And not from me saying it. I'm going to show you exactly what I'm talking about. Who's been in position this whole time. Don't think it stopped with Malcolm. Don't think it stopped with Black Panthers and William O'Neill. The government knows about your conscious community. The government has implanted people who have
Point to
learned your
point.
sciences. They learn how to talk like you. They learn how, and you can acknowledge it if you are in tone. You have to be in tone. They raised up. They was right there with Malachi York. He knew it though. He said it. I'm telling you, if you go and listen to all them teachers, you're gonna find out one of them classes, you're gonna hear him say it. He said the same way they sending you after me. He said after they done using you against me, like, you know what I'm saying, like they gonna come after you. And what they wind up doing. What they wind up doing. When all this shit was blowing up and it was hitting everybody making the rooms on it. What they wind up doing, they gonna do that because it's the same beast. After they done using you up, they gonna try to destroy you next. Y'all better pay attention to what I just told you. Because I don't
Wait,
care what nobody on this app say. I might respect it in their room, but I'm telling y'all right now, people gonna know what happened to my family. People gonna know why this needs to be like this type of information is important because it shouldn't miss you. It shouldn't get past you that the government is aware of something that you see as so grand, which is this woke movement. It shouldn't get past you that they are very aware of every pillar, everybody in this in this conscious community that is supposed to be these woke leaders or the potential ones. They know about all of us. You understand? So that's how deep it go. I'm telling people to pay attention because, and I'm gonna land the plane with this and we get up out of here, wrap it up. Right? I'm telling people to pay attention because as these next days play out, as these coming days play out, you're gonna start seeing the shifts. You're gonna start seeing the shifts in light. You're gonna start seeing the pillars of the industry falling and more exposure. Because when you have an event like truth like this, it happened with Malachi, it's happening with me, it even happened with Tupac. When you have that happen, it does shake up the realm. And then the last thing that it's gonna boil down to is what we all choose to do. That's what it is. It ain't no fear mongering. It ain't no, oh, I'm so important. It's like, yo, whether we choose to or not, this is what it boils down to. Do you care about generations coming after? If you don't, okay, cool. I might not be talking to you. It's simple. There's nothing to fight about. I just might not be talking to you. Right? Little red hen though, that bread gonna be baked. Whether you grab the hay when we said grab the hay or whatever the wheat, you grab the wheat, or if you warmed up the stove when I asked you if you could warm up, that is going to be baked. And whatever happens from then on, we're gonna let's make our intention to leave something behind for them that it can be something that's so substantial that they know how to move forward
Right.
because we won't be here always to coach them through. But we
Mm-hmm.
still have to think about them. We still have to think about what world are we leaving behind for them. Do we control it? What we're leaving behind for them? Do we have a say so in it and take advantage of it? Or do we just leave it up to the odds? And that's the choice.
And with that said, brother, I'm gonna have to consult with you on my contribution that I've been writing on, putting together since 2021.
Definitely. Please do that.
All right. Last thing, I'm not gonna ask you the second question I was gonna ask you, which was, is there a relationship between Dr. Malachi York and King David in the scriptures, prophetically wise? I ain't gonna ask you that right now. I'll let you go, let you slide. But I am gonna ask you if if you feel like you would be a good person to portray King David in a skit when he was talking to all the different people, the Israelites that were in the crowd, telling them who he is, who they are, in Psalms 82 verse 6. You know what I'm talking about?
All of your guys.
He was.
Yeah, all of your children of the Most
I
High.
imagine. A skit with this, a whole way to, just amplify this fact of who we are at the core of our nature. You know what I mean? Because to me, that's what he was saying
Right. And he was also
when they was
explaining,
arguing about who they are. You know what I'm talking about?
yeah,
Mhm.
and he was also telling them what happened. He was all
Right.
it was two things that if you go 82, if you go to 5 and you go to 7, I
Mm-hmm.
believe you can fact check me on that. He was explaining like y'all fell into darkness.
Mm-hmm.
And he said you are all guys. Yes, it's written that way. You understand that. You are all guys.
Mm-hmm.
But
But you will fall,
right, and
like,
die like men.
and princess. You know why?
Okay?
Because they decided to follow the men and the princes, and they left the moral code of God, of the God.
Because they were preparing themselves for the rise of the prince of the world, the same prince of the world that could be interpreted to be what was being spoken of when Yeshua, Jesus, Esau was saying that he had to leave, right? He had to go, he had to dip out, and that there was going to be one that came that didn't have anything in him or of him, if you would read it that way. But he said nothing
Mm-hmm.
in me. He was talking about the prince of the world, the
Mm-hmm.
prince of the world, which wound up being the establishments of the people who deceived the entire world.
Mm-hmm.
People love the word. I got a song called "Body or Soul," and that's why you find it on my page where I say my people love the devil. I think my people love the devil,
Damn.
right? And I don't think my people love the devil. I know
I
they
feel
love
you.
the opposition.
Don't know.
I know they
You said
do.
I know.
I know for sure that we love this
That's deep.
because I'm here with us. I understand it. It's not always easy, but I know what we love. We love the ways of the world. If we didn't love the ways of the world, we would not be in a predicament. It's so simple. We would not be in this predicament.
Let me ask
You
you
should
this: do
go
you
ahead.
think it's just not enough people that's actually forced to show what the ways of God is? Because I think that once the ones who woke actually get together and do something, I think the ones that sheep right now in that mode of mind, a mentality, I think they'll see. Because some people need to see something. You know what I'm talking about, in order to know what to do. Because a lot of people don't know what that is. You know what I mean? What is that? How is it to move like
Right.
a god? To think like a god?
And that's why I
You know
bring
what I'm
out
talking
the example of Malachi York so much. People making jokes about it. It's like you gotta pay attention. I do everything intentionally. I speak
about?
about
Man.
him so much
Man, Phase. I think
because
even
of
all the communities, bro. I think all the communities, bro, aren't doing enough in order to create that force that
did
our
you hear
youth need to
you hear what
see.
I was bringing out?
Yeah, I'm just,
Like that's why I
just
give
yeah,
out.
the
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
macrocosm of what you're saying.
Because
So,
that's what was happening when he was on the scene.
mm.
All the communities were coming
I
together,
wish I would have been able to, man, get caught up in that wave, man. I never even got caught up in that current, bro. I
but
missed
it's
out
still
on that
here.
whole
It's the current is still here.
aspect.
You didn't miss out.
I need to
I know
visit.
what you
I need to
mean.
visit then.
Or
I
not.
need to
Well,
visit
I'm not
then.
talking about the land. Well, the land is there. There's nothing on it. But I'm saying like the
No.
current that you're talking about is still
Experience,
here.
yeah, you experience that
You're
current.
hearing
You know
it
what I
through
mean?
me. You're
Mm-hmm.
hearing it. What they say
Well, yeah,
out of the mouths of babes.
yeah, yeah.
If you can listen to
Facts.
me, then you'll hear what I'm saying. That
I hear
you're
you.
right. You are right with the fact that these people do not have an example yet. It's not an excuse
Not at
because they
all.
have examples elsewhere. They
Yeah. See.
have it in the Bible through Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
right? They have it in the Bible not just through Jesus Christ. They have it through Elijah. Okay, they don't. Nobody speaks about Elijah. Elijah was one of those humble servants, as you
Yeah.
would speak
Yeah.
about. But he also had the ability to call chariots to rain fire if he wanted to, right? And he left in one of those. Elijah, you got the examples in Moses. You got example in so many people. You got example in Prophet Rasulullah Muhammad. His
Yeah. Yeah.
ability to be obedient.
And that's how I experience, you know what I mean, those coaches and those waves and those currents, you know what I'm saying, by the studying of it, right? But the most powerful impact that a people can have is to have that impact in person. You know what I mean? Like we call ourselves kings and queens, right? But if we really think about it, we ain't never really seen a king or a queen on this country, on this land here, walking around. So we really don't know what that is. We don't even know what it looked like. That's why we don't know what it is. So to experience it is different on so many levels. And I believe that, like I said, you, me, us, we have to right now begin to do that. You know what I'm saying? Give them what they need, and that's to do it. You know what I mean? Through the
And
music,
then
like you said.
look and check it out and be relatable.
Got
And
to
you want to
be,
know what the
got to be,
correspondence of it?
got
Why
to
you
be.
think niggas don't like conscious music? Because niggas who do conscious music, quote unquote, and I don't like to call it that, okay? But niggas who do conscious music, quote unquote, have not taken the time to understand how they can even communicate with
I
our
feel you.
people.
I got songs, bro, that I wrote down, you know, whatnot, that I say that a youth need to speak this spit, you know what I'm saying? A youth need to speak that. I got a brother that do, you know, he rap, but he too old, bro. His way, you
And
know what I'm saying,
then
the way he
that's what we
speak.
saying. So
I'm trying
then
to tell him,
then put in LeBron. I would be LeBron. That's
right?
what the thing I've noticed though is like people don't put in LeBron, so LeBron got to put himself in. He got to
Mm,
overlook. He got to go beyond the coaches who think they run shit. Like
I see what you're
put
saying.
in
I
LeBron.
see what you're
I
saying.
done met J Cole in person. J Cole
Okay.
told me when I was 18 years old. He met me on my birthday. He was like, "Yo, I was
Mm,
not spitting like that when I was your age." Right? He
Anybody
said,
tied to the industry ain't gonna put you on.
and he went on with his life. Now he spoke to me a few times about things like college and stuff like that. After he, you know, what I'm saying, we was like doing phone calls like that.
Pretty words, pretty
But it's
words.
pretty words. But it's like no disrespect to Cole, but Cole didn't reach
Not at
out.
all.
I
Not
met
at all. You
JID,
can't. You can't. You got
JID
that
in
ball
front of
and
his
chain on them,
house.
bro. They got that ball and chain on them. They're not free.
So then look at what I'm saying. They ain't not just the industry niggas,
Mm-hmm.
right? It's
Mm-hmm.
people who ain't industry on this app who could help me too, and they didn't help me.
Mm-hmm.
They met me though.
Mm-hmm.
They can talk like they fuck with me, and they think that I'm like I don't know the difference between who fuck with me and who don't. I'm very aware.
Mm-hmm.
They did not help me. They didn't even follow me. They didn't click a simple button. It was a long time. Not that it even matters, but it was a long
Mm-hmm.
time where it's like, damn, like what is that? All these,
A
you know what I'm
lot,
saying? But
a
I'm gonna
lot of
tell you what
people
it is.
undercover, bro. They be wanting the light, bro. They really don't deserve it, but they be wanting your light. They want what your light do. They want what your light do. You know what I'm talking about? As far as magnetic track the people. You know what I mean? You want the people, the attention. They want to be the one. You know what I'm talking about? They want to imitate the light, but they ain't the light. You know what I mean? They don't have it.
Yeah,
It's
no,
not
Or
there.
they don't really fuck with you for real.
and that's what it is. They don't fuck with me,
But anybody,
and
I
it's a
feel
reason why.
anybody fuck with you though, bro. They 100% because you 100%.
I mean, that's how I look at it. If they
That's all.
don't, then it's like,
That's all.
if they don't, then it's
That's
they
all.
not. Cause there's
So
no
I wouldn't even
reason
cry.
not to.
I wouldn't even want them to, bro. Because if
That
they ain't
yeah,
100% anyway, they don't need to be. They ain't the one you need to be rotating with. No way.
100%.
You know what I mean?
And
So
that's what. And see, but
I feel like
look at what we asking.
I
How
feel
do
like
we
we here.
communicate?
I feel like we here right now. We do something, then somebody else who got the money, who got balls enough to give the money to us, will fund what they see us do.
And that's why I went to the people.
Well, we're gonna
Listen.
talk behind the gate, behind the back door,
I
bro.
can't go to the people who y'all think we can go to.
Mm,
I have
Can
to go to the people because the people are the ones who
exactly,
they need this example that you were speaking about. Go ahead,
exactly.
Lexa.
my bad. I know you. I
No,
know
you're
y'all getting
good. Come on in.
wrap up. I just it's when spirit says what spirit say, you can't
Come on
ignore.
in.
And I know. First of all, I never like getting on these people's. It's
Oh man, speak
this
about it.
is their team, but it's
They
okay.
table.
Ultimately, we paving a way to create our own, and we're using this as a stepping stone, and that's okay. But one thing that I notice our people are completely unaware of are the tribes. And when I'm talking about the tribes, I'm talking about the tribes of Israel. When I talk about the tribes of
Okay.
Israel, I talk about the Aboriginals, the Reubens, the I'm part of Levi, the Simeons.
Okay.
We're in America. This is Judah. We're talking about Gad. We're talking about Isha. We're talking about Benjamin, we talking about, and these people come from where? Jamaica, West Indies, Trinidad, Cuba, Puerto Rico, the Samoans, the Fijians, the Hawaiians, the Argentinians, the Venezuelans, the Colombians, the North American Indians, the Mexicans, the Panamanians, the Guatemalans, the African Americans, aka the Negroes, aka we all collectively the Moors, the Haitians, the Dominicans, the Aboriginal Australians.
AKA Ethiopians.
Right, these Seminole Indians. Right, this is my bloodline. My lineage is heavy. My parents came from. I'm not from this soil. I came from Barbados, Dominica, Haiti. That is me to the fullest. So there is no wool over my eyes. It never started that way, and it will not finish that way. And the problem is, and people like me came here to help. Like you said, Tim, we the activationists. We the ones who are out here to start reminding people
Um,
of who they are, their power, their light. Because ultimately, when you want to talk about, we get deep about, we could really talk about this. Because you want to talk about religion, you want to talk about Catholicism, all this mess. Look, I come from the fruitful, abundant lands of places like Dominica, Haiti, once again, Barbados, and so on. That's just me naming my own land. But what I'm saying is, before they imposed all of what their version of what our stuff originally was, why you think they don't ever? Why was nobody talking about natural medicine during the whole pandemic? And when they did, they got banned and blocked off of YouTube and all of that because we are the shamans, the holistic practitioners of the world, the medicine woman, the medicine man. We
the
out here, we
original doctors, the
been,
original
we
nurses.
Period. We've been doing this, and we come from the herb. That's why they try to make it voodoo. What is that? Oh, y'all are evil, wicked people. You want to go and see a voodoo priest or a voodoo priestess or a high priestess like myself, and then they're gonna say, "Oh my God, you evil. Y'all doing casting spells and all kinds of Wicca and magic and this and that." No, wait a minute. You see, they twisted and turned that because they already knew what we were capable of doing. They already know what we do, and what we do is we that energy could be used easily to manipulate and to destroy a people, right? They came to Haiti and they destroyed our culture with their bullshit and their religion and all that stuff, their Red Cross and all that BS, right? Yeah, I said it. I know y'all hearing me. You know it's true. So they did that because they already knew ultimately what we did to gain our independence initially. Okay, they've been watching us and they've been knowing what we have inside of us. You go to Aboka, you talk to these people and you see what we're really about. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's nothing to be afraid of. It's actually something to run towards. You're running towards your root. You're running towards your ancestral heritage, your lineage of royalty. You're going back. Look, slavery interrupted what we had going on prior. It
And
was
it helps you to tap back into your native soul. A lot of
yeah.
us have been so colonized with that mentality, the colonial mentality. You know what I mean?
Man, it makes me sick sometimes because what I'm saying is ultimately we have to initiate one another over and over again in this space and time because we have, like you said, Faith, we are so powerful. It's ridiculous. If all the tribes came together and realized who they were, like, hello, ain't no turning back after that. Because then there's a reason the word remember is the word remember. You do it. You were there before. You got to come back to it again. All of these. all of us coming back with this prophecy, we done did this before. This is not new to us. Some of us are ancient souls coming back to
I
enlighten
mean,
and letting people know, like, hey, this isn't, don't stay here and let these people manipulate you out of your soul in the literal and in the physical, in every sense that they possibly can. They try to suck us dry. And look, like you were saying about the light, Tim, with the, when it comes to the light, some people will see your light and they will try to suck it out of you, and they wouldn't even know what to do with it because
hmm
it's just they haven't even turned on theirs yet. They don't even know how to turn theirs on yet, and that's where we come into play. And to be honest with you, I've spent years in hiding because I got fearmongered even by my own family. Like, you know,
hmm
they saw the daggone Farrakhan in me.
hmm
They saw where I was at with it, and they're like, if you go online, you heard Savior said it. He said it, man. My mama said they gonna kill me. My mama done said the same shit to me so many times, and I got to a point where I'm like, you know what? You know what? How silent am I supposed to stay? Because
I heard that.
ultimately, every single one of us that continues to be quiet, we are a disservice to not only our own throat chakra, our own
Mm-hmm.
alignment of self, but then on top of that, our own brothers and sisters. I didn't come here for
Mm-hmm.
that. I can't keep being quiet. People got to
Amen.
know who they are. We are royalty. I can't even wear fake gold,
Amen.
my G. My skin will break out. Because if
Mm-hmm.
you're looking at the even the biological aspect of who we are and what our DNA is composed of, it is a royal thing. It's not to be played with. It's the molecular structure is out of this world. We are so cosmically aligned if we allow ourselves to be. And this is the stuff that they see in us and they're like, holy shit, we don't got that. Well, since we don't
Exactly.
got it, we're gonna try to either to take it, and since we can't take the blueprint because we created, we're the blueprint. You can't. It's like I was using this analogy the other day with a friend of mine. I said, how are you gonna beat the person who made the game unless they allow you to beat them? You cannot. It's
Exactly.
impossible. We laid out the foundation. That's why they're so infatuated with the pyramids, the longitude, the latitude, the gold, all of this, because gold conduits, all of that. We are not only metaphysically, quantumly, I'm talking about, they talk about crystals and so on. People don't even know the crystalline Christ consciousness within self, the ascended
Mm-hmm.
masters that are dwelling here waiting for us to really get to that space where we're like, yo, if y'all ain't do a fast yet for 3 days with straight water, alkaline water, you could
Mm-hmm.
start with just the fruits. You could start with the fruits. You could start with a nice smoothie every day or so. But do that 3 day cleanse. Go up in the mountain somewhere. Get all that weird karmic energy up off of you, man, and
Mm-hmm.
come back and then see the difference. You're gonna be looking from the outside in, like, what the hell have I been doing? I've been ignoring the inner God or goddess inside of me. What am I thinking? And it's like that's we are in that space and time. I was living in New York for so many. I'm from Brooklyn originally, and I'm from Flatbush. I'm from a place where all of the Caribbean people is around, and it was no sugarcoat nothing from where I'm from. But
That's what's up.
the thing is, they had such they have a dome over our energy in some of these places. You're not seeing nature. You
Mm.
you are surrounded by nothing but electronics and this and that, and it's keeping you from really having that direct connection to source.
Yeah, you're
So
gonna calibrate to whatever the environment is. Constant energy. You know what I'm saying?
that's it. And so when I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking to y'all, it's already, that transmutation of energy, us exchanging energy and energy in my spirit. Even as I'm sitting here like, nah, I can't, I don't want to say, I don't want to talk, but my spirit's like, I dare you to sit here and not say nothing. While you are sitting there, you speaking amongst the gods, you know who you are. Say what needs to be said because
Yeah, let that
you
light
never
shine.
know. You never know who's listening, and you never know who could trigger and wake up and who they can wake up, you know?
I mean, that's love. That's love. That's love. That's an
Plenty
offering. We
love.
we appreciate you
Plenty
for
love
speaking up.
indeed. I was
We
thinking I
thank
was
you.
thinking about that when it came down to the dome. As far as the dome over the consciousness, I was thinking about something similar to that not too long ago. I'm aware of our ability to do what Revelation 14:4 was speaking about. Not to make it about the Bible again. I'm saying like the ability to yield out a tone collectively that can actually, cause certain systems to short circuit. Uh, the things that we can't see, like you said, that dome over. It's not like you would actually literally be able to look up and see that dome. Yet I can still visualize and realize what that is, the cap that is over us. And when we say cap, when we talking, we say that it's not true. Oh, that's cap. something that's closing the crown off
Mm,
from receiving.
mm,
We would not even like when it came to it. We wouldn't even wear hats. We wouldn't wear hats. We wouldn't wear hoodies. That was against our way. You know what I'm saying? And if we did, we was wearing like a namus. It was a blessed hat or a sanctified hat or however you want to say it, a holy hat, because we was saying that they wanted us to have our etheric cord cut off. They didn't want our hair to grow out. They wanted us to cut our hair. They wanted our women to press their hair, all this other stuff. So what he was doing, what we were doing was, if we would go in, if you were a sister, you come in, you rock the ninty braid, or that you would rock that umbilical cord like braid, and you would cut all the rest of your hair out, and it would grow out naturally. You were going through an initiation process, as you spoke on the initiations, that was saying to self and showing off that you were ready to be born again, or ready to announce yourself as a natural being and a natural being only, without this synthetic world that they was trying to throw people into. Another thing that the brothers was doing, the brothers was coming in that way. They was getting rid of all of their bad habits. They was throwing away the alcohol. They was throwing away the cigarettes. It's kind of like what you were dealing with the like with the Nation of Islam. They
yes,
had like
yeah.
things in that too. Where I remember that like those were some things that they would do. You know, getting
Yes,
your
sir.
discipline, being able to first of all acknowledge what's your purpose. Do you have the ability to even do something as simple as perfect a signature? Why though? What would be the purpose of that? Like first, again, establish what your intentions are from the gate. Can you sit through this? Do you have the discipline, the same type of discipline that was shown in the movie Karate Kid, where the boy thought Jaden Smith thought he was about to just go in and start learning some punches and kicks, but he didn't
Mm,
have the discipline and the respect there yet. So we had to
mm,
learn that, right? And he kept having him pick up the jacket and put it down the same way he showed his mama attitude with it. He set up a whole training course with just that. You know what I'm saying? So the thing was, when people were coming into the walks of life, it was like, yo, you have to leave all of this other stuff that is not becoming of who you are. And we said the word pharaoh,
mm,
that's what it means. You leave it on the
mm,
outside, especially if we talking about physically, when it comes down to you coming to the land. You do not bring all of that. And also, it wasn't meaning that it was a discrimination. It meant that the opposition side of you, this side of you that has this energy that wants to fight, this energy that wants to war, this energy that wants to fight to protect itself from your upheaval. Right? And that would mean what? The energies that are within you, that what you would call the bad spirits, that don't want you to even fight them, that don't want you to overcome addiction, because that part of you or that being within you is feeding off of that addiction, or don't want you to,
unbalanced.
you get what I'm saying? So that's what it was all about. I know, look y'all, my phone really finna die, but I want to say I appreciate y'all, because this is what we're gonna be getting into. I'm gonna be the next thing I know we got to do, we got to get into the Leviathan 666 book. We have to, because that's one of Malachi York's books, and it's like it's explaining every single thing that's happening. It's like I remember reading this as a child. The book came out in the '70s, but I remember like they had like other copies came out, and new edits and stuff like that later on. But I read this book as a child. You know what I'm saying? And to see everything play out exactly how he said it was gonna play out, and even down to the cryptocurrency, all it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Like, and watching how this is moving, it's like, man, I want to make sure, and this is where I landed. I want to make sure that we don't do it again. That was what was done, and what was done was people sat down the torch. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to make sure that we don't do that again, and want to make sure that we stress the importance through our actions and through what we're able to solidify what we do, or which would be those actions. That the children who are coming and the generations who are coming after that, they also know, okay, we can't sit a torch down. We can't sleep. Meaning we always have to be in
Okay.
some type of motion. We cannot sleep. We can't stop. We have to make sure that we do make sure we do what we're supposed to do, become more scientific, make the connections. If we can't make the connection, then they can take their religions back. If we can't connect with God, if you're gonna tell me that I have to wait till I die, there's no reason for me to need it now. That to try to act like I can connect. I don't want to play. I don't want no play dates. I want to be like Moses. I want to be right there with them. I want to be like Enoch. I want to be right there with them. I want to be like Elijah. I want to be right there with them. If the pastor
Right.
can't do that for me, if they can't explain to me at least how or show me what, then I don't want. Then I don't need it. Right now is a day and time where we done already been sold everything you could possibly sell us, and that's why this consciousness movement is exploding how it is, and that's why it was introduced. Time is up. No more God games, right? No more, spiritual games. No more nothing. The games is over. Game over. This is a new introduction. This is the pillar that he was speaking about when the indigo children were going to grow up, and we did grow up. And the ones who stuck to the rope or held onto the rope, as you say, hold fast to the rope, the Quran, hold fast to the rope of Allah, right? Why? Because these days they were gonna be dragging you through the muck and mud, and you know that. But after you come out of it, you come out of it. And he said we do stagger sometimes. We gonna fall. Okay, cool, because we're babies and babies do that. Yet we're all here to learn. We're all here to read the realm and experience these things with and for and through each other. And don't ever stop. And what I mean by stop is give in to the program. Even when what you had, Neo was in the end of the movie, okay? One of the movies, I think it was Revelations or Revolutions, okay? He was in Smite or Smith. They call him Agent Smith, which means Smite. Agent Smith, he put his hand through his solar plexus and he was converting him to an agent, right? And it might have looked that Neo had been converted. What would have been Neo giving up? Neo just going on with the conversion and said, "Okay, cool. I'm a part of the system now. There's nothing I can do. I integrate. Fine. I give up. I don't see no reason to fight. I'm trying to convince myself that I don't see no reason to fight. I'm just let it go." But he didn't do that. He even took it beyond that. Where they say if you become a part of the world, it's over with. And that no, he kept beyond that. He pushed beyond that. And what Agent Smith say? It's impossible because he pushed back through and he came back through as the light again. So what I'm explaining is don't ever give up. I don't care what it looks like. You know what I'm saying? And if even when you get to the brink of it, because I've been to the brink of giving up. I've been to the brink of leaving the planet Earth. Like literally. Like I was like, okay, I'm up out of here. You know what I'm saying? But then what kept me here was love. I still love people. I still love us. There's no
Yes,
way I
sir.
can see
Yes, sir.
myself just walking out on us, knowing the fate that it's like you see somebody, you know what I'm saying, falling asleep at the wheel, and you're in the passenger side, and you're like, I'm just gonna jump out of the car and try to save myself. No, wake the person up. It's just care. Care, it's love, it's all of that. I want to land the plane with that. I want to tell y'all, we are the all and all is in
Amen.
us. We
Amen.
can succeed as a part of the all and fail as an individual. The all is, I am. The all can, I can. The all does, I do. And I just summed up one of the affirmations that I grew up on. So that's what it is. We are the all. Remember that all of these things have a reason. Even when I'm doing fundraising and stuff like that, I know everybody who tapped in, the link was there. I know y'all saw what I'm doing. I know you don't think nothing other than like exactly what I'm saying it is. So I appreciate you. I know it's love. I'm not confused about none of that. I know exactly what it is. So you are appreciated. Uh, Tap in with me, check in with me. I tell people keep me motivated too. It's not saying that's your responsibility. I have dark days. I have times where it's like, and I don't want to just say dark in that way, but I'm saying I have times where it's like, it gets depressing. But I've learned what that means. Just pressure. That's all it is.
I
And just
understand,
you know
bro.
what I
And
mean.
all these,
So
since you've been here for 2,300 years doing this, man, I can understand
yeah,
how it can make
it's
you
been a
weary
long
sometimes.
time coming, but change is gonna come. Change is
Yes,
here
sir.
now.
It's coming. It's on its way. We gonna make sure that. Make sure that. Oh yeah, PTR right quick, y'all. They on my virtual table talks. I'm talking about the back door, how we go and build our own table virtually and not be on the public spot. So that's what I'm building. I mean, part of what I'm building. Y'all see it?
I do see it. I just took a screenshot of it. So you
We'll
can,
talk
yeah, I was
about
gonna say you can just definitely explain to me more about it
it later
for
today.
sure. I love y'all.
Love y'all.
The
Love
the
you, bro.
homework assignment will be to watch or listen to one of Malachi York's teachings on YouTube. Just one, at least one. Just
Yes, sir.
you can
Yes,
pick your
sir.
topic, or you can just type in Dr. York True Light tapes. Listen to one of them. You know what I'm saying? Even if it's a religious one or if it's a scientific one, whichever one, pick one that you like. The topic that jumps out to you, and without trying to sound like too spiritual about it, let that speak. Let it breathe, and you're gonna see what I'm saying is exactly as I'm saying it. And then when we come back, we can speak about that again, or we could jump right into the Leviathan 666 book. But we're gonna keep going with this. It's day by day, step by step. I appreciate y'all. I love you, and peace.
Peace, peace, peace.
And
Now,
Much
real quick,
love.
I know I said and peace, and it was like that was perfect. How do I how do I say the It's just gonna automatically say when I end the room.
Hopefully, if somebody knows, say so
Oh
because
no, it
I
will.
don't
Yeah,
know.
once you win the room, it'll automatically save, so you're good to go. Because you already have it. You already have it. What's it called? Replays are already on, so you're good.
Shalom, y'all
Okay,
go cash
shalom,
app,
shalom.
go cash app, say something. Shalom, family. I'm about to send it to you right now. Say peace, peace.
Shalom.
Thanks,
Peace,
Faith.
shalom. Wadu,
Peace and
thank you.
blessings.